first off, I just want to say shout out to everyone who joined the live today. Today's episode 66 of Manifest Monday. And you got your boy DG here. We got Ramond,
Yes,
and we
sir.
have Zenas. And we are the Spot Network. And
Come
today
on.
episode, we're going to talk about structure. What does it mean to actually create structure in your life? And how do you actually redefine the current structure that you currently have in place? Because I
Hmm.
believe that structure is one of those things that's important, right? If we are out here trying to like accomplish our goals and dreams, we need structure. So to start off, I just want to ask you guys, like, how will you define, structure? What is structure to you guys?
Good question. You can take it, P.
If I'm kicking it off, man, to me, structure is like I think it's like foundation.
Right.
If you just think about
Hmm.
like if you think about like a house structure, right? It's just like the bones of it, right? Like it's the foundation that everything else sits inside of. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I really just think it's like it's what houses everything else, right?
Right.
So when you think about it like that, it's like when you got a solid structure, you know what I mean? You got you know, the strong wood on there, you got the plaster on there, you got the bones that's strong. You could build anything else around
Right.
that. You know what I mean? But if you know what I'm saying, but if the structure's flimsy, it don't matter what you put in it. You could put, $1,000 TV and you know what I mean, the best couch in the world. But if the structure is not set up, then it's hard to even build around it. So I think it's just really like the foundation
Right.
of anything in life. So then when you take that out of that analogy and put it into life, it's just kind of how you have things set up. What's your foundation? What's the things you stand on? How do you move? What's the things in your life that you continuously do? Your habits become who you are. So it's kind of like, what are your habits? And I just feel like it's like how you structure when you talk about structure my day.
Right.
So it's like scheduling things. I think it's really just about how you create that foundation for yourself on how you move.
For
Yep.
You
sure.
set up that structure, and then just everywhere you move is based out of that structure. So
Right.
Hmm.
that's how I break it down.
That's
Yeah.
great. I love it.
Yeah. I mean that he hit the nail on the head, man. That's exactly what structure is. It's an outline. It's a blueprint for everything, right?
Right.
It's a. I also when I think of structure, I think of routine. I think
Right.
of we talk about it all the time, setting up the systems, right, in order to thrive. And that all starts at the base, which is really just, like I said, your routine. It's something that you can count on day in, day out, and it may be boring, but like I said, boring and sexy, man. Boring and
Right.
sexy. That's what structure is.
Right. I love that. And also to add on to what Ramon said about foundation, I'll also say like structure is organization, right? Because you need to be organized,
Hmm.
especially if you have goals and things you want to accomplish. You need to have organization in your life. Whether that means like, organizing your life. Am I having feedback? Oh,
Nah, I hear you.
oh, okay. What does that mean? Like organizing your life, your business, you need some things that you have to like follow daily, weekly, right? Because I believe whenever we just go about without any plan, it's harder for us to know what we're trying to accomplish. And structure within itself, create that organization, create that foundation. It makes it a lot easier to like navigate just with life overall and things that you're trying to like pursue in life.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's how I would define structure.
Agree.
And also, like, for my question is like, so let's say for somebody right now, you have a structure in place, right? Sometimes we notice that even for us, we're having this conversation yesterday. Like sometimes some of the structure that we have in place, right, it's not as effective as we want it to be. So how do you go about now to like restructure those structures, right, and have them become more optimal in order for you to achieve your goals? So how do you redefine or like recreate better structures than the one that you previously had in order for you to be better and more efficient when it comes to accomplishing your goals?
Mhm.
I think it starts with evaluation, bro. To be honest, you gotta like. I think a lot of people never even evaluate their structure. You know what I
Right,
mean? And it's because it's like that takes like time to even kind of see how you operate. I think everybody operates a little bit differently, but there's certain things that like everybody in their own life continuously do. There's certain things
right,
that always has to be done, right? Whether that's pay bills, whether that's, you know what I mean, go to work or just whatever that structure is. that schedule of your time or your how you move has to have some type of structure. It just does. You know what I mean? So I think just evaluating your own structure, and the easiest way I think to move forward on restructuring it is like figuring out the ways that you could be better, or the areas that you keep messing up in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a person that just like, it's one thing like if you just ain't got it and you can't pay the bill, right? But if you're a
Right.
person that just keeps missing the bills,
Right.
you got the money, but you just keep missing the paying the bill
Right.
just because you're forgetting and stuff like that, then that's like an area you need to audit
Mm-hmm.
to
For
kind of
sure.
be like, what's hold up. I keep doing this every time. This structure isn't working because I keep missing it. Whether
Yeah.
Right.
that's automation and putting it on auto pay, a reminder in your phone telling yourself like, yo, this thing's due the next, you know what I'm saying, next week. Or I think it's just really just seeing like, okay, where am I constantly messing up and how can I be better in those areas? You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think that's where you start.
Right. For
Mm-hmm.
sure.
That's what I would say for that.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself either. I think when it comes to recreating structure, to Peace Point, you have to do some kind of analysis, right? I think
Right.
you have to analyze where you are performing well in your life,
Right.
because
Right.
you have to break down all the pillars of your life, right? Like you talk about finances, you talk about health, both mental and physical. You talk about your spirituality, you talk about your relationships, with romantic relationships, your friendships and whatnot. You have to analyze all aspects of your life and break down what's going well and what isn't, right? And
Right.
whatever's going well, you have to analyze why it's going well, right? Like
Right.
I'm performing well in this aspect of my life because of X. I'm not
Right.
performing well on this aspect of things because of Y, right? So I have to figure out where my strengths and where my weaknesses are. But that starts with to the point of evaluation. You have to take a step back and really analyze, healthy habits and bad habits. It's habits that are what's going to create the life that we want to live at the end of the day. Um, and whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. We
Right.
talk about that all the time too, right? So if you're not willing to make the changes, you can't expect any different results or growth.
Right.
Like a lot of
Right.
people do the same thing and expect different results, and I'm like, how how are you expecting the same thing, or
Right.
different things when literally you were doing the same thing you were doing 3 years ago? Like at
Right.
some point, you got to recognize that it's like, okay, maybe I should reassess and make some changes, regardless
Right.
of how small or
Right.
large, like so. It all starts with evaluation, and then from there, it starts with there, but then you also have to take action. You have to
Right.
be willing to execute too, though.
Correct.
Like you can't just like, okay, like
Exactly.
yeah, like maybe if I implemented this change, like that would be cool, and then you just don't do nothing. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, it's like people all the time when they're like, I can't stand people who complain about their job all the time,
Right.
but then they don't apply. Like you're not applying. Like I'm like, well, have you applied to like for any other job or like seeked any other opportunities or whatever? And I get it. We all get into the flow of life and different things, and we complain about different aspects of our life. I'm not just saying work; it could be your relationship, it could be all these things. But I'm like, are you actually doing anything to change the circumstances,
Right.
though? Right? So, once you make those evaluations, you have to be willing to do the work
Right.
too, though, is what I'm
Fact.
saying.
Fact. Sure.
Thanks.
No, I agree. You guys really have some really great points. Also, one thing I want to add too is sometimes you got to get rid of the structure that you have in place.
Hmm.
Completely disregard that and like start over,
Right.
right?
This shit
Because
Yeah.
ain't
like
working.
you can't like if it's not working, you just gotta think about it. This is not working. I need to like create a new plan. I gotta
Yeah.
start from scratch. It's important sometimes to just start from scratch and like recreate those structures again and kind of like go from there. That's what I want to add to that as well.
Hmm. Yeah. Yep.
I- it's that's the biggest piece, man. I think like being willing to like just scrap it sometimes and just start from scratch, man. But
Right.
when I think about structure, a lot of times, like more recently, me and Z, I think we just cracked. It was this one day we was just like, we was like, let's start doing these little meetings when it was just, instead of just we just hop on calls, we just started doing Zoom calls with each other, right?
Right.
Hmm.
But there was and some point when we were in that meeting, I felt like we like cracked the code, and what it is like
Hmm.
we was working different jobs at the same, what I'm saying, at that time, and we just realized every company has the same departments in
Right.
life, right? Like, and you think
Yep.
about an organizational structure, right?
Right.
It's a structure. but
Right.
they have the same departments. I don't know where anybody on here works, but I guarantee you they got a marketing
Right.
department, they got a finance
For
department,
sure.
they have whatever the product
They got
is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
HR.
They have HR. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
guaranteed in
Facts.
everything. And you
Right.
realize like every business has a structure, like has these departments, right? And I think it's the same for us as people. It's like we have departments that just have to get done, whether
Right.
that's taking care of ourselves in the the mental
Right.
department, maybe the financial department, the spiritual department,
Relationship.
you know what I mean,
Yeah.
relationships
Yep. Yep.
department, you know what I mean, the physical department. These are different, you know what I mean, like pillars that you got to be like, okay, let me figure out a structure to put
Right.
all these departments, to get all these
Hmm.
departments set up.
Right.
And it don't got to be. And I think the biggest thing is that people be scared to be bad at things
Right.
so much that it's like, of course your first structure gonna be bad if you going, you know what I'm saying? When you try it,
Right.
just you
Right.
write down some shit and you like, yo, all right, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be
Right.
bad, right? But
Yeah.
it's about just creating something and just continuously getting better, man. We
Right.
to relate it to music. Guarantee my first song was bad.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean? I guarantee Z's
My
first
first beat was boo
beat
boo.
was trash. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee DG's first pull up was trash. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
You
my
know
shit
what I'm
was
saying?
fire. I'm just
Nah,
kidding.
that boy, you didn't finish it. You know what
I
I'm
agree.
saying?
Facts. Facts.
You know what I'm
I
saying? You
agree.
didn't finish that pull up, guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Man, hold up, man. I got to pause the whole live to say this, man. Shout out
Shout
to
out to
Butterfly
Butterfly
Wolf because
Wolf, man.
man, he just became. He went from Grammy
To
nominated to Grammy
Grammy
winner last
winner.
night, man. Shout
Grammy
out to
winner.
my guy.
Shout out
Hey,
to
shout
Shout
out
out
to
to my
Butterfly Wolf,
guy,
man.
man. Shout out to my guy Butterfly Wolf, and that's somebody we talk about structure, man. He, you, you could literally just go on his page almost every night, and he's making beats.
yeah.
That's
Hmm.
his structure. He built a structure around that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
He's creating every night. So
Right.
anybody who says they're doing all that they can and what they're doing, it's not. I don't think it's not the truth, to be
Hmm.
honest. A
Yeah.
lot of times we're not giving it all. Like I just seen something that said if you were like in the music industry, right? If you were the label exec and you was like looking at yourself as an artist, would you be like, he gave it everything he got. This artist
Right.
right here gave it everything he got. And most times you probably be like, nah.
Nah.
You
Facts.
know what I mean? If you hop outside of yourself and look at yourself, man. So, big shout out to the
Big shout out to
Butterfly Wolf
Butterfly Wolf,
man.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going the extra mile every night. You could really literally catch him on his live making beats, making, cooking, and then to, go from that, creating that structure around it to all the way up to, winning the Grammy on the Chris Brown album. Was it
Yeah.
album of the year, I believe, was the
Yeah.
Grammy.
Album,
So
R&B album. Was it R&B album of the year?
I
I
think
think
it's
is what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
R&B album of the year, I believe. So, man,
Yeah.
big shout out to Butterfly Wolf, man. That's super
That was
crazy,
a
man.
huge moment, man. It's funny because when I saw that Chris Brown one, I was like, oh man, I know Butterfly Wolf. That boy out there turning up. He like,
Yeah,
yeah.
come on, man.
Better put some respect on that man's name. But yeah, man, getting back to what we were talking about when it comes to structure, what we were talking about it yesterday, life itself is structure.
For sure.
It's structure, right?
Right.
When you talk about like school, right?
Right.
Like you go to preschool, then
Right.
you go to grade school,
Right.
then you go to so on and so forth. You go on to college, you go into work, or maybe go into the military,
Right.
whatever. There's all these different structures in life. Everything in life is structure, right?
Right.
Anything successful, anything that has wheels has structure. You
Right.
look at a car. A car has structure,
Right.
right? It has different components to it. It has the engine. It has doors. It has
Right.
steering wheel. Like all these pieces that contribute to it moving, right?
Right.
Every like anything that requires motion, and I mean that in a literal and figurative sense.
Right.
It takes structure. It takes routine.
Right.
Right? Like when
Right.
once you figure out what the structure is, you're not trying to break what's like, don't fix what ain't broke,
Right.
however the saying
If
goes,
it ain't broke,
if it ain't
don't
broke,
fix it.
don't fix
Right.
it. Yeah.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you found the structure that works for you,
Right.
you're just going to continue to repeat that structure over and over again
Right.
until you need to reevaluate and restructure again, because there will be a point where, whether it be in fitness or whatever the case may be, you might plateau. You might hit a point where it's just like, all
Right.
right, like. I've done everything that I could have done in this particular chapter.
Right,
Now let me reevaluate again, and to that point of reassessing, restructuring your life, because you even think about life and it's structured of seasons, right? Like
right,
you think about the seasons, not obviously like fall, winter,
right,
spring, so on and so forth. But we have seasons of life too,
right.
right? And like those
For
seasons
sure,
of
yeah.
life require different structures as well. Like in
Right.
this season of my life, I required this. At this
Grind.
season
Yeah.
now, in this season of my life now, it's going to require a different structure. But
Right.
like that's what it takes. Life itself is structured, and you have to reevaluate those things at all times.
Right. And also, I want to add to this, right? Sometimes I know most people, right? We're like, I don't like being told what to do. We love autonomy, right? Just the freedom to do whatever we want. But sometimes just having too much autonomy and freedom can lead us to a point that not quite sure what we want to do, right? So I think that's why structure is important as well. Because I know that some people like, I don't like being told what to do. But if you allow that person just to do whatever, it's kind of like this sometimes self-destruct. Or when it comes to like just getting stuff done, right? They're not focused. That's why sometimes if you see like most people who work 9 to 5, they're more structured than if you're an entrepreneur, right? Because at the end of the day, it's harder. That's why I think there are less entrepreneurs because you need to have tremendous structure to be an entrepreneur because no
Hmm.
one's telling you what to do, right? You are the one in charge of that. When you work out of 9 to 5, like we talked about earlier, you already have the organization. Your managers already have your duties, your responsibility, and all your roles, what you need to be done. And I think a lot of people thrive whenever they have that guidance, right? That structure. But when it comes to like entrepreneurship, it's different, right? Because you got to be the one to create structure, and it's
Hmm.
hard sometimes because you can like be like, man, I don't want to do this work today,
Right.
and nobody's gonna come and like tell you to do this, right?
Yeah.
Like even when it comes to your personal life, I don't want to go to the gym today.
Nobody's
Who's gonna tell you? Who can convince me to go wake up and go to the gym myself, right? So that's very important to have this structure
Yeah.
in place. And also when we talk about structure, one thing I think is important, I know Remind you're a big fan of this, like having scheduling your day and having time to do specific things. I
hmm
believe that's a game changer, man. Like it helps makes your day a lot easier because when you structure your day,
Hmm.
you already know what to be done. Like you're not distracted when you wake up in the morning. Like, all right, I gotta read. I gotta go to the gym. You're not like, oh shit, what am I doing today, right? And then you take that's a lot of time to think about what are you gonna do. What are you gonna do in that moment? But having structure helps to mitigate that, decision fatigue. You're not thinking about, oh, what am I gonna do?
Hmm.
How am I supposed to do this, right? It's like navigation, right? Whenever you use the navigation, it creates that structure. Now you know where to go. You're not getting distracted. Oh, should I take this exit? Because you know you're taking exit 4, right? Everything become a lot easier. It's easier to like navigate and accomplish your goal a lot quicker if you have structure. And I believe
Yeah.
structure is like a tool. I can get a lot of things done with just using my hands, but if I'm using the right tool, it's gonna make that job done a lot easier.
Thanks.
So structure is
Hmm.
like tools to like just make things get done quickly
Yeah.
and more efficient.
I'm glad you brought up that decision fatigue, man, because that's huge, man. When it comes to structure and routine, that's what helps you thrive because you're not sitting here having to overthink certain things, right? Like people don't realize how much decision fatigue impacts their lives,
For
right?
sure.
The example that comes to my mind is Obama, right?
Right.
Barack Obama, he picked out the same colored suits that he would wear on every specific day to avoid decision fatigue, right?
Mm.
Because you have to think with everything that he was trying to accomplish in his presidential run and in his campaign and all that stuff. Like, imagine all the decisions that you're making on a daily basis, and like in the morning having to wake up and figure out what do I want to wear today? Like
Go with you.
fuck, I got 23 different suits, and I'm like, fuck, I can't. Damn, I don't know which those little changes, it's the little things like that that make a big difference, man. And when you can eliminate so much of that uh decision fatigue, and just it eliminates so much of your stress, right?
Right.
It simplifies life. And I know that a lot of people say routine is boring, but like routine just it makes things easier. It
Right.
simplifies everything. Like when you think about success on at the greatest magnitude, right? It requires a lot of tough decision and time. It requires a lot of sacrifice, but you have to optimize a lot of aspects of your life to even set yourself up in a position to get there, right? Like if you're forever in chaos, right? Even organized chaos, like there's only so far you're going to get. You have to create that
right,
organization. You have to create that routine. You have to
right,
set yourself up for success, and that's only going to come from structure.
right,
Right? Like that's what it all boils down to. Once you set up those systems, we talk about it all the time. You have to implement systems in your life
right,
in order to ascend to a certain level, especially when you're trying to achieve something of the greatest magnitudes, right? So
right,
when you eliminate all that decision fatigue, man, it just it streamlines your life. Is there a boring aspect to it? Yeah, maybe it takes a little spontaneity out of the
right,
situation, but you
right,
know, sometimes that's not required,
right,
especially on the path to greatness.
right. And and to add to that, like life is a routine, bro. Like everything we do is a routine. You wake up, it's like it's the same thing you do every day
Hmm.
to the next day. And if you just look at nature overall, nature is a routine, day and night, day and
Hmm.
night, sun, rain, like everything, right? So I feel like what I've learned as I'm getting older, you just gotta find ways to like make your routine fun, right? You gotta find ways to make
Hmm.
your routine enjoyable because it's gonna be the same thing if you marry the same woman every day, your friends, the same friends every day, the same phone calls, like all those things are routine. The same food, the food you eat every day, bro. If you work at a job, you go to that corporation every day. You come home.
Hmm.
I'm sure you take that same route to work every day. All right, life within itself
Exactly.
is a routine. Like for me, it's like just making that routine fun. Because I feel like at the end of the day, routine are important because like that's one thing. At one point, right, I was kind of like a little bit hesitant when it comes to religion. I was like, oh man, religion, we're not quite sure. And sometimes people just want to like push religion down everyone's throat. But if you look at religion overall, bro, it creates structure in a sense, like how to be in a certain way. It guides you to live a good life, right? Because you believe that if you do
Hmm.
all these things, you're going to go to heaven, right? Imagine life without religion, without rules and structure. Like, if I don't really care, sometimes the things we want to do, we think about, the aftermath, like society overall, right? We know if we do certain things, we're going to go to jail. Imagine if we didn't have these rules and things in place, right? Do you know how many people would just go crazy if you can just get away, you can just go and rob a bank and shoot people and just take money, like you'll be free?
Yeah.
Life would be so chaotic, right? And I believe that's why structure is important to like create that, create the ability for you to have that structure and be able to achieve things in life because now you know what you want to accomplish. Now you know how to move. So I think it's so important to just have structure, especially for people who just want to like achieve something of a greater magnitude.
Hmm.
You said,
Mickey disagrees with you.
I mean, you can disagree with that, right? In the sense, I mean, one could argue, right? It could be fake, right? But if you look at it overall, I think it's like net positive, right? Because at the end of the day, just create that
Hmm.
structure to guide us. I mean, I'm not gonna say here, oh, religion is like the best. I mean, to me, I think it's create more positive than negative
Yeah.
because just that guidance, right? Like there are some people who are religious and do all kinds of crazy things, but just overall knowing that you believe in God and that God is watching over you, sometimes it helps you like not do certain things that you want to do. Like I know for
Sometimes.
sure. I know for sure.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, that's what I'm saying for sure. Like
Yeah.
things like religion, like help guide you,
Hmm.
right? Not to do
Right.
certain
Yeah.
things. So,
I was gonna say there's pros and cons to everything, right? There's good and
right,
bad. And
right,
to Mickey's point, when you think about religion, I don't necessarily think it's religion that's flawed. It's man is flawed at the end of the
right,
day. Like
for sure.
men are going to abuse everything to their advantage. That's
Right,
just the way life works,
right,
at the end of the day. But to your point, I do think that it does build structure, and
right,
without structure, life would just be absolute
right,
chaos at all times
for sure.
because we have no boundaries, no guidelines, nothing to uphold a particular standard.
Right,
When I think about religion, right? I actually watched a movie the other day, and it was actually a really good film. But um, at the end of the day, it's not about being ideal.
right,
We're in the constant pursuit of being ideal,
right,
because no one can be ideal. No one's perfect,
right,
like at the end of the day, it's just the way life works, like you're always in constant pursuit of ideal, but you're never going to get there
right,
at the end of the day. That's just the way that we work as man. But it's those ideologies and like whatnot that help us get there, that help us maintain a particular lifestyle. Because to your point, regardless of what you believe,
right,
like what you believe in heaven, like what faith you may practice, if you don't,
right,
whatever universe, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, I think it's religion creates a sense of hope, and
right,
that's really what it
right,
is. Like at the end of the day, like Do I know for sure that heaven or hell exists? No. I was
Right,
raised Christian. I was raised
right,
Baptist. I don't know with a certain fact whether or not it does, you
right,
know. However, it creates that hope in me.
right,
Like, and at the end of the day, you know, that comes from structure, right? You know, that
facts,
comes from, you know, from when I was a young child, we went to church. You
right,
know, we sang songs, we studied the Bible, we did all that
right,
stuff. There was structure, you know,
right,
and it creates boundaries for you, or it creates guidelines, but it creates structure for you in a
right,
lot of ways too. What do you do on that? You know what you're doing on Sunday? You're going to
right,
church, you know,
right.
like as a kid, like that's structure, right? You
Yeah,
know, and
discipline.
so it
Yeah.
creates discipline. You knew on Sunday that you
Right,
were going to church, you know, at
right,
the end of the day. And
right,
you know, I know to Mickey's point, there's good and bad. I
right,
mean, religion has been the cause of like mass genocide as well. So
right,
like, I mean, you know, to that point, like there's people can abuse it to for bad reasons at the
right,
end of the day. You know, like it's just human beings, man. It's just
yeah,
it's so interesting how we work. But at the end of the day, it's structure that you can utilize to your benefit, or to, you know, the other side of things, you can use it for the downfall of a lot of other people too, right? You
right,
know, that's just how it works, you know, at the end of the day. But structure is what you need in order to build something substantial. And whether you choose to use that for good or bad is up to you.
right, facts,
And just to kind of, I want to just, on that point, like, because I hear what Mickey's saying, but there's like a super radical and almost
right.
anything is not good. You know what I'm saying?
Extremists,
Like, to
right,
be honest,
right,
when you're an extremist in anything, you know what I mean? Political party,
right.
religion, even if you're like,
Too much
like let's
structure.
say like like let's say like it's like I don't know, you vegan, right?
Right,
That but you're the person that just be yelling at everybody who does everything, you know what I mean? It's
right,
almost too much
right,
is too much of
right,
almost everything. So I do think you need structure. It just might not look the same, right? Because I think you might could, someone might not be a certain religion and still be a good person,
right,
but they still have to have the structure on pillars that they stand on. And I
right,
think that's important, right? To have those like those standards that you do stand on, because you could
right.
follow a religion and still be a bad person.
Facts,
You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
right, right,
Absolutely.
And
right,
Absolutely.
just use certain pieces of it to,
right,
you know what I mean, to
right.
I don't know, justify things that you're doing
Of
versus
course.
someone else, right? So I think
People do.
the big piece is like it is a blueprint, speaking of that, but at the same time, I think just having some morals and foundation that you
Right,
stand on is the
right,
important piece.
right.
That's
Hmm.
the
I
that's the
agree.
Yeah.
important piece. You know what I mean? So
Right. That's the more part's important, right? Because like
Yeah.
love your neighbor as yourself, right? Thou shalt not kill. All those things
yeah,
are structure in the sense because it just helps you. Like, yeah, you might not follow everything, but the thought of it, right? If you try to do some of these things, it's just gonna help overall become a better person. You know.
Mhm.
So
So
that's a
outside
fact.
of like religion, right? You know, how do you think there's other tools and whatnot that you can use to build structure? Because there's a lot of things that you can identify, but what are some of those things for you guys in your own lives?
I mean, for me personally, like there are a lot of things you can do, man. For me, like just like going to the gym, right? I think for me, fitness is a structure, right, for my life. Because at the end of the day, I have a certain time that I work out, and then just by doing that, not just looking good physically, but the discipline that you develop, right? Just going to the gym at a specific time, the structure that you get from doing that, right? Because life is like you got so many things that you want to build and work on. By you being able to like work and transform your fitness, that structure, that discipline that you built in that area is a lot easier to like transfer that discipline in other areas of my life. And I feel like for me, getting like my fitness on point, it was a lot easier for me to like start working on my finance, right? Because I know if I work on certain things, if I create a structure, if I create a routine, if I'm consistent with that routine, I'm going to see great results, right? So I think just it's important because once you have structure in one area, it's easier to like develop structure in other areas. So for me, fitness as a whole was a game changer to
Hmm.
just help me become just more disciplined in other areas of my life.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, just to throw one in there, man. A planner for me, that changed everything. Like I told you, man, I had started to like just like you said, the biggest thing is like we was talking about, like relating departments of a business to your own life, right? Your departments of your life, and what you realize is you got to be the manager of your own life.
facts.
So what you were saying earlier is like you got to tell yourself what to do, and you got to do it. You
Right.
the manager and the employee of your own life,
Yeah.
right? So you know, it was at a certain point that would just I started like telling myself what to do, and it was like little sticky notes, and they'd be all over the crib. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Just tell myself to do this, but then just kind of moving into like a planner. I remember somebody got me my first planner, and I was just like, I'll try it, and it was just cool having it all there in place of just like really telling myself what to do, and then looking at it and being like, let me do it. It feels good checking off everything off the end of the day, and then using checks and balances at the end of the week. Rate the week. How many of the shit that I said I was going to do did I
Right.
actually do? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that checks and balances against myself was something that has definitely been big for me. You know what I mean? And there's something I just wanted to say because me and Z's in music. I feel like a lot of times when people start doing music, there's no structure around the business at all, right? Like
Right.
it's just not like even if you play like from a young age, if you play sports, it's organized.
Right.
Like if you you know what I'm saying, if you like get on a little league team,
Right.
there's still how many teams in the league? There's the rules of the game. There's a referee. There's, you know what I
Right.
mean? There's that throwing flags. This is the amount of time that the game plays. There's structure around that
Right.
from a young age. When you get into certain things, there's no structure around it. You have to create it for yourself the same way you might with working out. You got to create your own workout plan. You got to
Right.
go there. You got to, you know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Nutrition. With music, it's the same way. You kind of
Right.
have to be like, I'm gonna do this inside of this time. I'm gonna make sure I get this done. I'm gonna, do an album cover. I'm gonna, look at marketing. But you have to create a structure around some of these areas that don't have structure in it. And you can see
Right.
the difference between somebody who's just out there shooting shots randomly and they pop up once
Right.
a month or just, a couple times a year they just pop up versus somebody like Ray who's out there every day
Right.
and you can see him on there or somebody like La Russell. I always bring him up, but he's just so consistent and he created a structure that's like it's hard to, it's hard to
Right.
not win like
Right.
that. You know what I mean? So I think that's big.
Right.
What's up,
Well,
guys?
What up,
I
bro?
already knew when you had that little menacing smirk, it was about to go left, man. I,
Right.
I already knew, man.
No, listen, I agree to everything you say, but what Diamond said, love your neighbor as yourself, is not for black people, bro. I don't know if I can say what I want to say.
What do you mean? Go ahead. What do you mean? Go ahead. What do you mean? Not for black people?
I think real shit. I think the way me realize that words was one of the most important things they have to use. So to say, hey, listen, to live in a good neighborhood, you have to love your neighbor as I said, bro. Show me any black neighborhood you can go in that your neighbor can leave the door open. Show me.
I mean,
Show me
No, they
one black. I live in
exist.
Philly.
yeah,
I
this,
live in Philly.
yeah,
And I live in one of the good neighborhood in Philly, bro. We have iron gates and iron window bar, bro. Everything was locked up. But when you go
right,
in the west, like I used to work in the west neighborhood, bro. When you go, those people like my patient will tell me you gotta leave my door open. I'm like, why? She said because my neighbors can come in my house anytime. For me, I don't believe in that shit, bro. I don't believe in it.
right,
I don't believe in religion. I believe religion was used against people, bro. Like every part of the world you go to, bro, there are certain people don't like you because of religion,
right,
right? Look at Africa for instance. When the Kenyan left and went to Morocco, so how they killed them to the border. The only reason why they killed them is because they're not Muslim. They were all
Hmm.
right,
Christian. So I believe religion never helped nobody, bro, but it separated us. That was saying religion make you go to church, bro. What did you learn from religion? What did you learn?
No,
no, like,
there's go ahead,
I
Doc
think
GG. He
that,
talked.
I,
Yeah, go ahead.
I
I
agree.
mean,
If you guys say structure, I agree. But bro, religion separated human race, bro.
right, 'cause,
I hate religion. I'm
I
saying
mean,
that I hate it.
with everything, there's good and bad, right? Because if you look at water, water is good for you, but too much water you can drown. So
That-
would that
but
mean
that's
water is
different
bad?
though.
Does that
That's
mean water
different.
is bad?
That's a whole. Think about it, Diamond. Right? If
Right.
there was no religion, we were going to move around freely. Even me, I'd be scared. I'd be so scared to travel the country that that have different people in it, bro. Like that's why I don't even travel outside America a lot because I feel
Right.
like if I look at me, I'm dark as shit in Pakistan.
I mean,
I
but
mean,
you got to think about it. You got to look at
but
it from a different perspective, right? Go
yeah.
ahead, Z.
Now I was say, but to your point, there's good and bad in everything. It's not
Yeah,
just religion. Like, I mean,
right,
there's good doctors, there's bad doctors.
right,
There's good political ideology, there's bad political
right,
ideology. There's good and bad in
But
everything. It's
Zena,
not just
right,
religion.
see, look at it this way. If there was no religion to tell you, all right, you Muslim, or you, but like, if there was nothing to tell you, I'm different from you, you have
Hmm.
more love for me and more compassion for me, bro.
I mean,
Right? There are doctors who will
right,
work on you knowing the Father. All right, maybe I'm a Muslim doctor and you're a Christian. I may not treat you the way I'm supposed to treat you because of your religion.
Hmm.
If we all were just regular
right,
people, I would have
Hmm.
more compassion for you, knowing the Father was just the same human being.
right,
Well, to your point, I think that's just extremists. Like at the end of the
right,
day, like I think so. When I think about religion, I think honestly, most religions believe in the same thing. Like
right,
they have similar beliefs. But
right,
to the point of what we talked about, it's not that I think religion is flawed. I think religion is just about believing in something that's bigger than
right,
us. But
right,
it's people. To your point, it's the people who abuse
right,
it though. Like
right,
it's not religion itself that's making us like
right,
fight one another.
right,
It's the people. People use that to their advantage. It's me as my Christian values
right,
going and saying, "Oh, anyone who's not Christian is beneath me." That's what it
right,
is. It's not
right,
about religion.
But
It's
it,
right.
about
but
the people.
But it's true. But religion is a word, right? Religion is a word. Again, the same people that came up with religion are the same people that abusing it, bro.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
I
The
mean,
But
this
we
is
word
the
were
is
just
being
thing.
saying
abused.
I
Right,
think it's a human thing, like Z saying, because
right,
we set up a lot of systems like this.
right,
He's a Democrat, he's a Republican.
right,
Hmm.
That has nothing to do with religion, but
right,
they never
Yeah.
gonna rock
Hmm.
off of some of
right,
the ideas of it.
Yeah.
I think
right,
humans put a lot of things in place that pit us against each other, and
right,
sometimes it's not just about the structure that's in it.
right,
It's how we use it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
And also, I want to add too, there are people who are atheists and they do a lot of crazy things, right? They don't follow any religion, right? So for me, it's not religion; it's just people overall. Because there are
Yeah.
people who don't believe in anything, right? They're the most
Yeah.
ruthless people overall. But if you look at religion overall, I would say it's net positive because it creates more good than bad. Always, it's kind of like it
Nah,
depends how you
it
want to
create
like weigh
more
it,
bad
right?
than good, bro.
Because I wouldn't say, because at the end of the day, if you look at what religion overall, let's talk about Christianity, right? The Bible, right? Everything what the Bible talks about. Love your neighbor as yourself, right? Thou
That's
should
not for
not
you,
kill.
bro.
All those things, right? That's good because at the end of the day, that's structure in the sense that you can follow to be a better person.
Yeah.
It's not saying, so those things, those are the structure I was talking about, right? Love your neighbor as yourself. Thou should not kill. Thou should not commit adultery. All those things, it just helps because human being, whenever we have free will, we don't have guidance. We tend to like self-destruct. Imagine having your kids growing up like you can do whatever you want to do, right? Because I think if you have that guidance, I feel like religion is a sense, yeah, you might be a parent, you might not be a perfect parent, but the fact that you have a guidance will tell your kids, oh, do this, don't go out late with your friends, don't follow this crowd. Those things help shape them to make better decisions. And I feel like that's how I look at religion.
Yeah.
Can you be a terrible parent? Can you,
Yeah.
abuse your
Absolutely.
kids? All that is true, but it's not. That's have nothing to do
Nah,
with parents. It's
we
more
were
about the
still going to do
individual.
better than we were still going to do better, bro.
But
We
to your point, okay, but Mickey, to your point though, like I get what you're saying,
Right,
but you have to realize that it all breaks down to control.
right,
Everything in life that has structure is about control.
right,
When you think about religion,
right,
when you think about school,
right,
when you think about the law,
right,
all these things are enforced because of control at the end of
right,
the day. The reason why people can abuse religion to their advantage is because of control. They can
right,
they can brainwash
that's
people
what
into thinking
I'm
like,
saying.
but it's not about religion though. It's about
right,
control. That's what I'm saying.
right,
It's you can use anything in
right,
life against
right,
somebody as long as
right,
it has structure. If you can create
Bro,
structure and influence people, it's
just
beyond religion, bro. It's
right,
I could use any at the end of the day, bro. As human beings, it's just instinctive for us to separate ourselves from the next person.
That
right,
Whether
that's
it be
the
our
part.
skin, whether it be our skin color, our eye size, our foot size, there's gonna be something. It's just like, well, you're different from me, so like I got to figure out. It's all about classism
right,
and whatnot.
but
We
that's what
have
I'm
to be able
saying.
to,
They use the word religion to
but it's
make
not
us
about
to
religion,
hate.
just though. It's
I know,
about
I know.
control,
That's
though.
it is about control, right? But what I'm saying is they use that word, right? It was never for the good intention, bro. For to me,
right,
think about it. They see a Bible that tell you thou should not kill. Nigga making atomic bombs. Why you making bombs? He might be not even take 2 minutes to die, but you making bombs. But you telling oh thou should not kill, right? You telling oh thou should not kill. You making guns, bro. Come on now, like that's what I'm saying. Every shit was set in place
right,
to brainwash us to be like, hey, as you said again. it was about control. That's why for me, I don't never believe in religion. I feel like it was a man made up shit just to
Right.
control people. So why believe in it?
For
What?
I believe there's a God.
for
Everything is
That's
control,
it.
man-made, bro.
yeah,
Everything is
yeah.
man-made. Everything
I'm
is about structure.
But
right.
but but some people take it to heart. Like some people believe that religion is why they
Oh,
exist on this earth. If
I
there
mean,
was no
that's a good belief
religion,
though.
nah,
That's
that's you.
not
You can
bad.
believe in that.
Right, that's not
Not
bad for that
me.
person though, because I know, like I said, some people need that structure because everyone's
Hmm.
different, right? Other people need structure to function. There are people that if you give them like if you don't have a plan, people are just gonna wake up not knowing what to do. And that's why, for example, when it comes to
Hmm.
training, right? That's why personal trainers, that's why lawyers, all those things are important because at the end of the day, if you have legal issue, like how are you gonna figure it out? But if you have a lawyer, someone who knows those things, they create structure. If you're somebody who never been to the gym before and want to get in shape, you can figure it out by yourself, right? But if you have a trainer who's knowledgeable, they're there to provide that structure to make those things easier. Like there are flaws in personal training. Your trainer might not be knowledgeable and all those things. But however, like when it comes to religion, in the sense that yeah, there are some positive and negative things about religion. But if you just look at overall the message of religion, it just like creates structure for us to behave a certain way. If you have like rules, for example, is the government flawed? Hell yeah. Is there some good part about it? Yes. Is capitalism good? Hell yes. Capitalism has some bad and negative parts about it? Yes, right?
Hmm.
Everything's are good and bad. It's all about how you use those things. So
Exactly.
you can say, oh, there shouldn't be no capitalism because there are some, Elon worth 20 billion or whatever billion, and you don't need all that money, right? I could make that argument. But at the end of the day, nothing is perfect.
Yeah.
You just gotta figure out the best system that works for you. And when you look at religion overall, it's not perfect, of course. It has its flaws,
Yep.
but overall, I think it just helped human beings overall just give us guidance, how to
Yeah.
behave a certain way, how to live a certain way, and with those things, it helps all just function better in
So
society.
you
And
go.
to your point, DG is a choice. So let me ask you a question, Mickey. So let's say we eliminated all beliefs right now, like just everything was wiped clean. Let's say the people recognize you as a person of influence, like
All right,
for whatever reason, the way you carry yourself, you naturally influence people. Let's say naturally people were like, you should be our leader.
all right,
What are you going to do with that power?
all right.
I'm gonna use
It's
it the right way.
all your choice. Are you going to use it in a good way? How do
Yes,
you know that for sure, though?
because I know who I am. It's all about who you are, though. It's
All
all
right,
about. I feel like you
Exactly.
you can make decisions. You can make the
all right,
right decision if you want to, without no one telling you. Again,
all right,
certain age you reach in life, you realize what is good
Hmm.
all right,
and what is bad,
all
right?
Hmm.
There are some people who just don't care.
right,
I'm not talking about those people, but as an individual, certain age you reach in life, you know that there are certain things you can't do no
all right,
more. So again, for me, I don't think I would need religion or would
right,
need control. I know
right,
what is right and what is
right,
good.
Hmm.
Again, it's true.
right,
There are people who don't
right,
care. So for
Hmm.
right,
those people, you have to need control. You have to tell them, hey, you can just be
right,
walking with gun in the street and doing whatever you want to do with it.
right,
Because there are
Yeah.
some people, if you don't have control, they will just walk around and do whatever they want to do.
right.
But
Correct.
for me, I believe like human being have that mindset, human have that power to do the right thing. So if I was in an environment with all no control, I think I would still make the right decision.
But
I
yeah,
don't think I'll need. Uh
yeah,
huh.
but you're talking about you, right? Individualistic, right? But we're talking about collective, right? You have that knowledge and ability to do that, right? But like, look at the massive, right? I can say I don't need. You heard this saying all the time. The average of the five people you hang around with, right? I can say I can hang out with people who do crack all the time. I'm not gonna do crack. I can hang out with people who are not productive all the time. I'm not gonna do those things, right? Because I have that self discipline. But how many people can say that, right?
Hmm.
If you are more influenced by the people and things around you, right? So at the end of the day, you're just talking about you, right? You're not influenced. You don't need that structure. You don't need that you. But
Hmm.
other people are not like you. Other people don't think like you. So they need that structure. They need that. They need religion to help them behave better. The massive need that. You just like because I can say I don't need certain things,
Hmm.
right? But other people might need that because maybe I figure it out. But
Hmm.
overall, more people need
Yeah.
structure for religion than just people who don't need it.
And to DG's point, I was going to say, that's exactly what it's about. It's about your beliefs, right? Like
Uh,
to your point, Mickey, you said it's about what you believe is right or wrong. But at the same time, that doesn't apply to everybody,
uh,
right? Like every single human being thinks
right,
differently. And so
right,
at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, the choice is yours. choice. And in that moment, whether you want to do good or bad, the choice is up to you. All you can do is create that structure for your own life and maybe influence others. But at the
right,
end of the day, you have to recognize too that like you do influence other people and like, you know, like you just hold on a different pedestal. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's nothing is universal, right?
right,
You can't apply one thing to any particular person or you know whatever the case may be. And to your point, it's all about choice. A lot of people who are in those choose to do good or bad with it. And we've
right,
seen a lot of people do bad, but we've also seen a lot of people do good. But at the end of the day, it boils down to that person and their choices. It's not
right,
about religion itself.
right,
It's that person's choice what they do with it. And
right,
that's what I'm trying to identify. It's not that religion was bred for us to like all kill each other.
right,
It's just it was bred to control. And what you
right,
choose to do with that control, whether good or bad, that is up to you. But it's at the end of the day, it's all we as human beings, we know we're flawed
right.
because if you look at religion, the most perfect human being, which was Jesus Christ, we still killed him. We still killed
Right,
him. The perfect example of what a human being is supposed to be. So that shows you how flawed man is. So all I'm saying is, it's not about it's not about the concept itself. It's not
right,
about religion. It's not about the
right,
law. It's not about it's about the people who uphold it and what they
right,
choose to do in those situations. And most people, we've seen it, do believe there is more good in life than bad, but I feel
right.
like there, especially recently, we've seen a lot of bad shit just like happening. You know, but I mean, that's that. There's always going to be bad apples. There's going to be good and bad in
Right,
everyone, in everything,
right,
because we're human
right,
beings. We're all
right,
flawed.
right,
That's all I'm saying. It's not the
I
concept
agree. So
itself; it's people.
so basically, so basically, what you're saying is I agree with you 100%. But it's like, so if you don't have, so for me, control is all about fear, right? So you have to control people to instill fear into them. So you
Mhm.
want to tell me if there was no control, Humans wasn't going to have the right mind to do the right things. You have to instill control into people before they can exhibit those human behavior. Okay, like my
I,
case. Uh
right. I
huh.
would say yes to a certain degree. Yes, you need some types of guidance. Human beings, people
Mhm.
overall, we need guidance
We
for
gotta
sure.
agree
Yeah.
on something, right? We got
Yeah.
Yeah.
like we have to agree that murder's bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? If there's a
Right.
group of everybody and we was just like, what y'all think? Murder cool? What we
Right.
Yeah.
doing? We gotta agree on
Yeah.
something. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We gotta agree that certain things
Right.
is, and it's just that it's just you know, one uh model of like ideas and beliefs. I think somebody said it in here, man. Shout out to Patricia. She said religion is a specific uh fundamental set of beliefs and practices that's generally agreed on by a group of people.
That's it.
And I think that has to happen with or without religion. Like we have to agree that this is cool and that's not.
Yeah.
And we all
Yeah,
agree on
I
that,
Yeah.
agree.
then we good. So that
It's
has to
about
happen.
community.
But how people, you know, people
Mhm.
definitely are going to misconstrue everything.
Right.
I had a random question for you, Mickey. Let me just, you know, I'll put you on the spot real quick, man. Do you think, honestly, right? And I don't know
Mhm.
if you've read it. I could be honest with myself and say I haven't read it all the way through. You think if everybody followed the Bible exactly, would the world be a better place or worse place?
I don't even believe in the Bible in the first place.
But to answer the question first,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
you know
just
what
a
I'm saying?
question.
Do you think it'd be better
I think
or worse?
yes, it will be better because for me, I don't believe in the Bible, right? But there are things the Bible say that make a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There are things
There's some
the
things
Bible
in
says.
it.
There are some things in it
Right.
I don't
Hmm.
agree with. Let me say that there are certain things. Okay, let me take that back. There are certain things in the Bible I do not agree with,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
But I believe one of the best books to ever read is the Bible because
Right.
Hmm.
for me, if you take your time and read the Bible, it's like it educates you on so many things.
Right.
So yes, if people was to follow the Bible, I think people will be straight. Again, as you said, there are some people who would be like, screw this book. I'm not gonna open the
Yeah.
book and do that one thing, do
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
one and do that one thing.
Yeah. My
Do that one thing.
name ain't Thou. My name ain't Thou. I'm doing all that shit. You know,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. No,
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Some nigga went out there, people.
That's a
It's true.
fact.
For me, I just feel like, man, life is all about you as an individual and the people around you. As I get older, I realize a lot of things in life, bro. There are some things in the Bible is not referring to us. Like I know when I say it, people go crazy. Like, what are you saying? But like one thing I would say, like the Bible, love your neighbor as yourself. That got nothing to do with black people, bro.
What do you mean that has nothing to do? I disagree with that. What do you mean? Because I, I
Well, okay, so here's my thoughts, right? I don't agree with you, Nikki. I don't agree with you. And another point that I wanted to touch on,
you gotta talk about black
I'm
because
not. Oh,
people.
hold on. Let me be clear. I'm not being racist, though. I'm not being racist. Let me make it clear. Let me make it clear.
Right,
Go
okay,
ahead.
so I think you're so you also have to think about it from our perspective, right? When we think
yeah,
about being in black neighborhoods and stuff like that, you also have to think about the tools and the resources that we've been set up with, like
we don't
in
have
the
structure.
past
Also, we
century,
don't
bro.
have
Like we
structure
didn't
in the
have
neighborhood.
structure, and if
Right,
we did have structure, it was chaos, right?
right,
So I think when you go to, like, for instance, like a white neighborhood, an affluent white neighborhood at that,
right,
right? They've
right,
had structure. They've had
right.
their family, and maybe for generations, has built
Have
that
structure.
structure of
Right,
what good and bad looks like at the end of the
right,
day, right? And they've instilled that over and over again. At the end of the day, it's all about beliefs, right? And the thing about it is, we don't know what good is without bad. That,
right.
like, it's just natural. Let's, like I said, to that point, if we just wiped all beliefs right now and just went to a clean slate, we wouldn't know what was bad until somebody did some bad shit. Like, if
Right,
somebody went and murdered somebody, we'd all look and be like, "What the fuck was that?
right,
Is that
right,
is that
What
good
you
or bad? Like, I
what you
don't
got
know.
going on?
I ain't never seen that before. I ain't never seen that before. Like, it's just, you don't know what good is until you see bad. Like,
what
that's
that
that's
is?
what it is. You just don't know. Like,
You said if we wasn't. What did you say? You said if him, right? If him was just left alone, how would we know if something was
yeah,
bad or good?
Yeah,
yeah,
You will know, bro. Just imagine you
nah,
live.
yeah.
Okay, hold on. Just imagine you live in a home for 10 years, right? And no one never tie you up and beat the hell out of you. And then now you end up in a situation, right, where you get tied up and someone start hitting you, bro. You would know something's not right. We would know
hmm
without someone telling you that this is good or bad. You will know what is good, what is bad.
hmm
Because again, you are brought in an environment where you were never abused. You never been abused before,
hmm
and you end up in an environment where someone start like torturing you, bro. You would know that nah, this shit is not
hmm
nah, this is not good.
Right,
So for me, I believe either way,
yeah,
if you never saw someone killing someone before, and you see someone kill someone for your first time, you would know that this shit is bad.
right.
yeah. But to your point, oh, exactly, exactly.
Hold on.
And I want to use that to my point. So what you're saying is that's a variable. So, like, when you talk about structure creates consistency and routine in your life, right? So let's say, to your point, your example, I was living 10 years on a farm by myself and was just chilling. And I just lived that routine of just, like, being on my farm. I wouldn't know any different until you came in and imposed upon my free will
Right,
and beat my ass.
right,
Now I know that, like, this is not my routine. That's a
right,
variable, right? Like,
right,
and what people don't like about variables is its change,
right,
right? But I wouldn't know that was bad until it happened. Is what I'm
right.
saying. Like,
That's true.
you don't know bad without good. So I
Right,
wouldn't have known that I could have had my ass whooped. I didn't even know other human beings existed until you
right,
popped up in my crib and
right,
beat my ass. Now
right.
all of a
That's
sudden I
true.
know that there's other people, but also whatever the fuck you did, I did not like it.
Right,
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know what that is. And the thing about it is, structure, that routine, it creates, yes, it can be mundane, but it also creates just direction in your life. I know that I've just been chilling on this farm, and I've been living life, good or bad. I've just been chilling. But now we present a new variable, right? Mickey came in my farm, ate up my food after he whooped my ass, and I'm like, hold up, like,
You said I didn't
did
right,
very much. I didn't very much like
whoa,
that.
what
right,
what was that, man? Like, I ain't never had that before. Like, is all I'm saying. So that's what I'm
right,
saying. You can't know good
right.
without bad, because
The fact,
I knew how good my life was before you presented yourself as a variable,
right.
right? That's what I'm
That's
saying.
fact.
Like, you don't know bad
Right,
without good, and vice
right,
versa.
right,
The two have to exist at the same time, is
right.
what I'm saying.
That's true.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So
Yeah.
basically, it's like making the wrong decision. You've been staying by yourself for 5 years, and you've been a shooting in your crib. That come.
Man,
And you come in and pistol whip my ass, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Right.
hold up,
What's
man.
happening,
Yeah.
fam?
That
I'm
shit
like,
kind of hurt.
hold
Am I
up.
bleeding?
Like, what is coming out of my forehead? I ain't never
Right.
seen no blood like this
But it's
before,
true.
Hold
fam.
up.
Like,
It's true. So
what is this? Like,
right.
this
Yo,
is all new shit. You know, so
Right. That
I ain't
it's. I
like
mean,
that.
yeah. Everything's comparison, right? If you're 5'2" and you're the only person around, you're gonna feel like you're the biggest human being around, right? Until you
Mhm.
meet Leo, who like, God damn, he's way bigger than me. Because you need something. You need to compare. You need other things to compare. Like you said, Z, good or bad? Because at the end of the day, if you just by yourself, I'm like, I'm the biggest in town. Then you see like fucking what that dude from that played for the Spurs,
Oh,
Victor Yama.
Webinyama,
Yeah.
yeah.
You like that's
Nah,
giant, right?
fact.
Because at the end of the day, you don't have anything else to compare it to, right? If you never, so we need good or bad. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
If
Like
you go to a
that's
teen club, you're gonna feel old. If you go
right,
to like a grown folks night, you're gonna feel young. You know
right,
what I'm saying? It's like it's all kind of comparison based on,
Hmm.
and I think that's the craziest part of life is like with different people, we're trying to agree on as much as possible to see like
right,
what is right. You know
right,
what I mean? And it's like it's easy to agree on the big things, like we're talking about, right? We know that's wrong, right, for the most part.
right,
But when you get to those smaller things, that's where it gets interesting, right?
Hmm.
That's where I think you see stuff like politics.
Hmm.
It's
right,
like we agreed we should put the money here, and they're like, nah, but we
right,
should put the money here.
right,
You know what I'm saying? And it's still an argument, but it's about
right,
smaller things.
Yeah.
You know what I
right,
mean? And they both think it's right. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
right.
yeah, man, it's an interesting thing.
Because like if you look at sports, right? You have structure. Imagine everybody just go like, all right, I'm going to be the quarterback, right? Everyone's fighting to be the quarterback. You have this person destined to be the quarterback, running back, right? All those things like working together in a cohesive way. That's why it makes sports succeed because now you know who's responsible for certain things. You have the defense coordinator, right? All those things are structured because now it makes things a lot easier to flow. All right, I know what I'm doing, right? Z knows what he's
Hmm.
doing. Ramond knows what he's doing. So when we come together, it's a lot easier to work together because we're not like, oh, what am I going to do today? Oh, I'm doing this. We're trying to overlap. I feel like structure overall, just human beings, bro, it just create, just make life a lot more
Hmm.
easier. Because at the end of the day, I believe without structure, religion,
so
those things, man, we would
Yeah.
just be out
so
here
basically,
just doing all kinds of crazy things.
so basically, you guys are telling me God created Adam and Eve and put in the garden. He never gave it no structure, bro. He's just like, hey, do your thing, do whatever.
I mean,
I, I
technically,
mean, technically, like if you read the Bible, yeah,
I mean, I would say
You know what I
God
mean?
did give them structure, though. He
Because
did, right?
yeah,
God gave them structure because He said, like, you're free, don't eat from this certain fruit. So
no,
that's
no, but
structure. I'm telling you what to
no, 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 no,
do.
no, no. You're telling me I'm free.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
eat from the food. It's not, you just telling me what is good, what is
I mean,
bad. You wasn't telling
that's,
them. You told them to do whatever they want, bro.
I mean,
I
yeah.
believe
to a
him.
caveat, right?
Bro, I believe human beings who are function without structure, bro. I believe that because again,
We
if
mean
you read
structure
the
or
Bible that we talk
religion.
about
We mean human beings. Because I want to make sure I understood that clear. You said we can function without structure or without religion. Because
both,
structure is every.
yeah,
Uh, nah, I
yes, bro.
Yeah.
disagree.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's the question I
Okay.
just
Okay.
Yeah,
asked.
Okay.
we can
In the
Yeah.
function.
garden,
Yeah. Yeah.
We
We
Right,
can
can function.
regularly
We're
we'll
like
live, but like, how
right.
would you progress?
yeah.
we will.
We be like animals, bro. Like
I would
we have
disagree. I would say
instincts,
we won't
bro.
function with.
Bro, okay,
I
but
would
think about
disagree.
it
We can't
though.
function
Again,
without. Because
my
yeah,
point.
because if
Nah.
we like
When
animals,
God,
bro, there's no
again,
Nah.
functioning.
Nah. Because
when God
we're
created Adam
like
and Eve, right? He just left
Right,
them in the garden, bro.
right,
yeah.
He just left them there.
Hmm.
He just
right,
he created Adam and Eve. He just left
right,
them there, bro.
Correct. But to your point,
So
like
again,
to your point, it's about instincts though. Like
right,
at some point, your instincts kick in, and so
right,
without structure, you're gonna rely solely on your
right.
instincts. And guess what that instinct told?
It
Temptation. They gave in to
right.
temptation. It was like, well, he told me not to do this, but why shouldn't I do it though? Like like it's just like, and the instincts were telling me I shouldn't do this because I was told not. Like I don't think this is good, but like why would it be bad? And
so you want
so
so
you're
you,
always gonna like without structure. Us as human beings, we're just like we'd be just as good
Right,
as animals, bro. We're gonna rely
right.
on our instincts,
And that's what I'm
and
saying. Even animals
so
have structure. If you look at
so
them,
you
they
want to
do
tell
have
me so you want
structure.
to
If you
tell
look at
me
animals, right?
I don't use Eastern to talk. So just hold on.
Right.
So you want to tell me Adam just was like, man, I'm gonna use my instinct. When Eve come around, I just want to know why God told me not to tell just woman. That's what you're saying?
I mean, so yeah, to a
Based on
certain level.
instinct?
I put,
Bro,
that
again, but
was
right,
but
instinct, bro.
right,
yeah,
Yeah,
but that again, my point. we
right.
could have function with, bro. Is we're
We
talking
can
about God.
function. Yeah.
We're
I
talking about
would
God.
actually disagree with that though, because even
But
animals
then
have structure, right? Animals do have structure. If you look at the pack of wolves, how they hunt, there's structure. Lions, like the alpha males, everything life within itself is structure. So I would disagree. We can't function without structure because life within itself is structure. In order to be effective
I
as
see what you're saying.
animals, you need,
the
you know what I'm
moment,
saying? You need structure as well
okay,
as
cool.
animal,
But I
right?
think
So you,
when Adam messed up one time, that's when God realized, man, nah, these motherfuckers need they
What?
need
No, 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 no. Like it's
Hey, here's a Bible, my brother. Go ahead and get yourself together. Go get yourself, read that, and come and report back. You know what I'm saying?
but see, at the same time, like but also to your point earlier, Mickey, structure isn't necessarily always about being so rigid
right,
because like rigidness leads to extremism,
right,
like extremism too, though. Like you
right,
can't be too rigid
right,
because if you're too rigid, then it comes off as being extreme, right? So
right,
like, I don't structure isn't necessarily about being so rigid like
right,
like all these rigid rules, and you can't like at the end of the day we're human beings, we're gonna like bend the rules, we're gonna fuck up, we're gonna
right,
make mistakes. I think structure is more so about creating a system to
right,
like help us operate
right,
optimal. That's
right,
what I really think.
right,
That's what it is. That's what structure is.
I believe
right.
people were doing so well by themselves, and other people just came out like, nah, we got to make sure these people follow certain rules because this shit is not right. I feel I just believe human were doing so well by themselves to the point where certain people realize like, hey, all right, we can have this certain people do this shit. Let's just come up with a structure to change everybody's mind. Let's come up with religion to change everybody's mind to be like,
Mhm.
hey, you can do this. You belong to this place, bro. I believe human being was functioning without nothing, bro. We were doing
We
great.
were
I disagree though.
functioning. We
I
were
mean, we wasn't
functioning.
doing great,
We
right?
were
We wasn't doing
functioning.
great though.
What?
But like to your point, okay,
Yeah.
so like I'm gonna give you a prime example, right? You think I forget it's that what's that island that's off like the coast of is it Australia or something like that where it's never been
Papua New
yeah,
Guinea.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like it's
Papua New
never been
Guinea.
inhabited.
Right,
Like
right,
like all that exists on that island is the indigenous people, and
right,
there've never been anyone else that's been on that island successfully.
right,
They've all been killed if they try to
right,
approach
right,
the island, right? So that means they have no influence outside of
right,
themselves, right? Now, let's say for whatever reason you were able to access that island and you saw how they lived. Let's say they were carnivores, right? Let's say they were eating each other. Would you
right.
say that was good or bad?
But because you know, no, because you know that now, so you
But
think
you
it's
know
bad.
that. But would you tell them that that's bad?
You will tell them because of what you know.
Right.
You will.
I'm saying,
Yeah, I would.
would you
Yeah, I will.
specifically,
Yeah, I will.
exactly, because those are
Be-
your beliefs.
Because no,
Right,
because
And
I.
they'd be like, fam, like we were good.
right,
Our life was good before you came over here and tried to
right,
check us about none of that bullshit. We don't know who you are. Like
right,
you don't, who are you to come and tell us how to live our
But
lives?
right,
but you see that okay. To my point, they still
right,
been existing, though, right?
right.
And they're still doing good.
But they still have structure. Though. If you look at how they live, they're so
They're
structured. They're not just
still
waking up.
structured.
They're not just waking up. The men are responsible for certain things. The women are responsible for certain things. They still go and hunt, and gather things. So yeah, there are still structures with what they're doing. They might not be influenced by the West, right? How we do things nowadays. But they live. That's why even I was going back. Like I disagree because animals do have structure, right? They hunt a certain way. They do things a certain way. And if you look at structure, that's what structure is. Even the ways of things, because the lion know that if we all work together, it's a lot easier for us to kill a big old buffalo. They
Mhm.
work together and not become a lot optimal and successful. So to me, yeah, they might not be intelligent as human and built tools and all that, but the ability for them to like work together in a cohesive way to succeed, that's
But
structure.
that's something.
And they,
But at the end of the day, though, right?
right,
I'll agree to that and disagree. Either way, either way, if we together and we see a threat, we know we will know that okay to eliminate the threat, we got to work together.
but that's
Either way,
structure,
but that's not, either way though.
Mhm.
right,
Either way, if we see if you know someone break into your house, you see two dudes that break into your house, and you got roommates. You're not going to just wake up and go fight them. You'll try to see if you can call your roommates to be like, hey man, we got three dudes in the house. We need to get up. So either
right,
way, we're still going to figure it out, bro. Either way, you're still going to know like, hey, we got to do this shit together. So
right,
for me, it's like either way you're going to figure it out. Like you said, animal. They know that okay, if a male lion see an elephant, he know that I can't kill the elephant by myself, so he will need help. So either way, we were still going to figure it out. That's what I'm saying. I'm not
Right.
saying we don't need it. I'm saying
Right.
we were still going to do it either way.
But
But the way
Just
it's,
we
we,
it's
were
the
just
way,
gonna find
right.
structure. We were just gonna find structure
It's like me.
regardless. I
It's
get what you're saying.
right. I just see that, but I'm in it. But I feel like yes, you can find it right. Okay, for example, I feel like structure is tool. I'm sure I can build a house with my hand. How long is that going to take me? I'm sure I can guarantee that. Give me 20 years, give me 30 years, right? I will build everything with my hands. But how long is that going to take, right? And I believe that's why structure is important. Structure helps to like mitigate that, make things a lot easier because now you have all the right tools. So structure just give you tools, right, to do things to
Yeah,
make things more efficient, right?
that's
Like
it.
when it comes to goal setting, right? You know that if you write down your goals, you're gonna achieve. You have a higher probability of achieving your goals. Is it guaranteed? No,
Mm-mm.
right? I think structure just create the odd of being successful because you can't guarantee like investing, right? You can't guarantee. No one can say, "Oh, if you invest, you're gonna not lose money," right? No, investing in strategically just in overall increases the chance of the probability of being successful, right? The odds, and I feel like
Hmm.
that's why structure is. It just increases the odds of you doing things in the right
Yeah.
way. I'm sure I can drive. I can go freaking where Alaska without GPS, right? I'm sure I can figure it out. I can take me a year, but if I have navigation, the structure, it makes it a lot easier
Hmm.
for me to get there. And I feel like that's what structure is. Make things a lot easier to get
Exactly.
to what you want.
And I'm glad you touched on that because to that point, I do just want to touch on something. I do, Mickey. I do want to ask you a question. So, anyone who's achieved anything of great magnitude, you think of any successful person, right? Do you think they did that? Do you think they achieved what they achieved without structure?
I can say, I would not say no, bro. I know, again, I think you're missing my point. I'm not saying we don't need it. We
Hmm.
do. But I believe people have like just overdo it, right? I believe people have overdo
Oh
it
yeah,
to control, again,
of
to
course,
control
Hmm.
people, bro. Right?
of
Everything's
course.
about
And
control.
the way the system works for me is like there are people who in higher power realize that, hey, that's a me for instance. Hold on one second. Let's say me for instance. I have so much money, right? And I know you guys are below me. So now I got to come up with a structure in a way where I can control you guys not to harm me, right?
Right,
I could come up with a system to be like, you know what? At 6 o'clock,
right,
you guys got to go to bed.
right,
Because I would be up. You
right,
know what I mean? So if for me,
right,
I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying we don't need it.
right.
I mean, people use it against
Of course,
like
yeah,
people. People. That's why for me, I don't really look at it to be good because I feel like there are functions that we have
right.
that we could do things by ourselves, regardless of all these things you're
I
talking
mean,
about. But
it's
people
right,
realize,
right,
like people who have so much power,
right,
realize that we have to come up with these
Yeah.
things to
right.
control the poor people.
But to your
Because
point,
if
bro,
we
it's
don't do it,
about the
Yeah,
people, though.
about the
huh?
The
person,
structure,
right,
structure is gonna happen
right,
regardless, bro.
right,
It's about the people who influence others and who make
right,
those decisions.
right,
But that's
But
what I'm saying. It
structure
was
is going
it
to
was it was
happen
meaning about
regardless.
the people that have so much money.
right.
It was meaning about people who, like, I was watching a documentary about slavery, right? I know I'm off topic, but there was not. What I believe is there is nothing called white or black. Again, there are people who realize that we got to come up with this shit to separate people. If we don't do it,
Uh,
Mm-mm. No,
I mean,
bro. Because
there
you
obvious, right,
naturally, bro. Like
right,
Nah, yeah, I
if
give
I
you
had
that. I
been
give you that. I
right,
give you that
right,
for sure.
no,
I do
because
give you.
but I mean, also like you have to think about it, bro. If we were in Africa, right, and all we had
right,
seen was us,
right.
and then all of a sudden some white people came over, we'd be like,
They're
"What is
different
what
from
is that?
us.
yeah,
Yeah,
cool,
That's
they're
cool.
different.
different.
That's
We
different."
Right,
cool. I agree with that.
right,
Again, it
But
won't
we're
look
gonna
it
we're
won't look
gonna
new.
label it
right,
though. We're gonna label it.
right.
We're gonna label it, right?
Yeah,
Like
right.
Nah, we're not
because
gonna
we
say
we
white.
we, under, we understand that they can't be
They can be
us. Like we're
a
not the
fact.
same. So we're
Right.
gonna label it,
Right.
right? What
Like
what are we gonna call
women are
that?
different from than men. Like women, right? They're like, all right, I got chest, I got this. You don't have that. We're different, right? I mean, so at the end of the day, I might not call them white though, right? I'm gonna realize
Hmm.
that they're different from me for sure.
Yeah.
Like if I see like a black person, right? We're all different, right? He's bigger than me. He's taller than me. So obviously, I mean, I feel like what you're trying to say. I get your point. Though. I feel like nowadays we make it out of like of such a big deal, and then we create segregation, all the other things that comes with
Hmm.
that. But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna realize this person is different from me
Yeah.
for sure.
But all that came from abusive structure,
But
right?
but
Right.
you still
It was
we brother, right? But you still realize I'm different from you. So
Correct.
either
So
way,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm way darker than you. so
right.
you
But
so
still, it's about the same, right,
Even in Africa, right? If let's say y'all went to Africa, y'all went to Africa. The moment and forget about the women. The moment you get to Africa, the people in Africa know you're not from there.
right,
You know
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
right,
whether you white or black, that's something you know. Like okay, this person is not from here.
right,
So either way, we're going to figure it out. My thing, I just believe. I'm not saying we don't need it. We do need it,
right,
but I feel like the rich people
right,
force that shit on us, bro. Like, you gotta follow these rules. You gotta do this.
yeah.
right,
Without that, we were still gonna do better, bro. As human beings, we were still gonna coexist and do better in life. But
Maybe,
I believe like the structure we
maybe,
have now.
maybe. Because there's always going to be people in power, bro. Like you have to,
right,
like I said, there's always going to be leaders. Like
right,
naturally, like you think about it, like it's all about community, right? And like in order to establish community, there typically has to be a leader. There's
right,
somebody that like people, the people naturally elect. Like you are the best option we have to guide us, right?
right,
Like you are the epitome of probably what we're seeking, so we need you to influence us. And it's that person's decisions and their
right,
beliefs, good or bad, that's
right,
what's going to influence the rest of society.
right,
It's not, like I said, it's not the concept itself.
right,
It's not the concept of society.
right.
It's not the concept of
It's the
religion.
people who
It's
in
not the
charge.
concept of law. It's the people in charge, bro.
Right,
That's what it is.
right.
But it's
Hopefully
like
next
I
time we
said,
can come
it's
on live.
about the people.
I got so much shit to say, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to go off topic.
I mean, say it.
Because I was about to ask a question now, but I was like, nah, let me just wait next time when y'all.
But I
I
do
mean,
think this is a good point.
right,
This is a good time to go into our would you rather.
right,
I
right,
Like,
do
okay,
think.
let's say
Go
for
ahead.
instance, right?
right,
Look at this for instance, right? All right. People, when it comes to sin, right? People look at certain sin to be way higher than other sin, right? Like let's take for example in America, right? There are people who go around killing people, school
right,
shooter, kill people, but people don't go against gun law to regulate guns, right? But when you like now, when you say you gay or you lesbian, not like even Africa, for let's say Africa, if you say use the word gay, it's like bro, they
Why
just want to kill you.
are you
But there are
gay?
people, hold up. There are people out there who raping people. There are people out there who stealing. There are people out there who committing murder. Wapo, these are all sins, right? These are all sins. But now we look at certain sin to be more higher than other
Mhm.
sins. So for
Yeah,
me, that's my point. It's like people just choose to do what they want to
right,
do and make us to believe this is right, this is wrong. Why can't
Mhm.
we just live the way we want to live? Why human beings can just live the way they want to live?
I mean,
Because
because we can though. We
we
can. Because
can.
at the end of the day, all right. Imagine if I just want to go kill babies. Like, can I live the way I want to live? Is that justifiable? We can't. So those things are important to like regulate. Because human emotions are our mind, bro. People have all kinds of crazy thoughts. What about pedophiles? Pedophiles, right? Should they just go around and talk to young kids because that's how they're wired? No, we need governance,
Yeah.
right? We need things. Just because you feel a certain way, it doesn't mean you got to go and do these things. Just because I
Yeah.
want money, I can just go and rob a bank and kill people because people have that investment, all these things. We need
Yeah.
boundaries, right? To like
Yeah.
help to like mitigate those things because human beings we have all kinds of wild ideas and crazy things. So structure is important because like Diamond cannot just go and go into my neighbor's house and break down and take everything because if I do that, I'm gonna go to jail. So
Yeah.
those structure put in place help me not do those things if I
Yeah.
even have the desire to do these things.
Yeah.
So
And that's what Ramon touched on earlier, right? It's about the collective agreement, right?
all right,
Like that's what human beings, we need each other,
right,
like in order to thrive. If honestly, if we all just lived lonely, we wouldn't live long lives,
right,
right? Like we would not live long lives. Like human beings, like same thing with animals. They need each other in order to like or they roll in packs, they roll in herds. Not all of them. Like there's animals like tigers and whatnot that roll solo and whatnot. But like it's just like you think about it, that's because that's how they thrive. That's also their structure though. That's their
right,
instincts. But
right,
human beings, naturally, us as beings, we
right,
need each other to
right,
thrive, right? But in order to engage with one another, we have to have a collective reasoning that like,
right,
hey, what is good and what is bad? We have to establish those boundaries. We
right,
have to establish structure. To your
right,
point, if we all just lived freely and did what we want, there would probably be a lot. of people who be crossing a lot of
Right.
boundaries. And it's just like, fam, you can't be just coming up in here. You can't just come up in my house and pistol with me, bro. Like, you can't do that shit. That's not okay,
Right.
Mickey. But
Yeah.
we had to collectively establish that that is not, whether that's good or bad.
Right.
So all I'm saying is naturally, us as human beings, we're going to make those decisions collectively because we
Right.
need each other to thrive. We want community.
Right.
Whether we want to admit it or not, we want community and we need it.
I
Right.
agree though. I'm not saying we don't need it. I just feel like it been pushed onto us so hard. I'm not saying we don't
I
need
mean,
it.
certain things.
That's
We
Yeah.
do
society.
need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do need it. But I feel like, man, hey,
But we have
next
the
time,
ability. We have the ability to not. We have the ability to like free will, right? We have the ability to choose what we want to do, right, within a certain boundary. So
Hmm.
that's the beauty of it, right? Just because it's pushed down, it doesn't mean we have to do it, right? You can choose. You can choose how to live your life. You know,
Hmm.
and that's a really good question in the comment. Does discipline and structure go hand to hand? What do you guys think?
well, my kids making so much know how to be moving around. I'm sorry, what you said?
Yeah, I think they go hand in hand.
Right.
Like, yeah, I don't think you can really have because to the point we talked about, everyone's disciplined to something.
Right.
Whether
Yeah.
you disciplined to go into work, whether you disciplined and sitting on your couch and watching TV all day,
Right.
whether you disciplined and all I do is sleep,
Right.
when you discipline and like I like
Right.
all I do is everyone's disciplined in something, right?
Right.
And that comes from the structure of like I know that from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. all I'm gonna be doing is sleeping. Because that's
Right.
all I want to do.
Right.
That's that I discipline myself to do that, right?
Right.
Like and that came from the structure of me doing it. Like I tried some other shit. I tried
Right.
to work from 9 to 5. I didn't like it. I was like, I'd rather just sleep from 9 to 5. So guess what? I made that decision for myself. That's the structure that I like,
Right.
right? So I do agree that I do think discipline and structure go hand in hand.
Right.
What about you?
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, that can't be disconnected.
Yeah, they can be.
Honestly, I was trying to think in my mind. I was like, can you be disciplined in with no
Yeah,
structure?
no,
I was like, what
you
would you be
can't.
disciplined to? Nah. And then I was like, can you
Right.
have structure with no
No,
discipline? What would
you
be the point of
can't.
that? Like, so nah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They connected.
Right.
That's a good question. Shout
But
out to Bree.
I do believe though you can be disciplined without good structure, right? Because sometimes I feel like we're disciplined to do things, but I feel like in
There's
order to
some
be like
structure though.
right, there's some I agree,
It's
there's
still
some
got to
structure,
be
right,
some
right,
structure. You know what
right,
I mean? That's your
right,
discipline too.
correct. But some kind of what we're talking about, right? In order for you to achieve to get on that next level, you need certain type of structure put in place.
Yeah,
Because especially
Yeah.
if you want to,
Got to
but I
tweak
do
it,
agree they'll go
make
hand
it
in
more
hand.
efficient.
yeah.
Correct, but they do go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. Yeah,
Agreed.
y'all want to do the would you
Yeah.
rather? Since
All
we're
right.
almost
So
out of
this
time.
this this is the perfect time to go into the would you rather. This is the Spot Network. This is Manifest Mondays. Y'all know what we do at the end of every episode. We're gonna ask you a would you rather question that's gonna challenge you. And that question today is would you rather follow a perfectly structured life that guarantees long-term success, but no spontaneity, or live a completely spontaneous life with no guarantee of success? So let me repeat that question.
And no structure at all on that one, right? On the
No
second one.
structure at all. I
Come on
repeat,
now,
would you rather follow a perfectly structured life that guarantees long-term success, but no spontaneity whatsoever,
bro.
or live a completely spontaneous life with no guarantee of success?
As long you say success, everybody gonna follow success, bro.
No, but
Nah,
that's hard though.
you can still get it without. Well, think about like that's tough. That's tough because like if you no spontaneous, bro, like
No,
that's crazy.
but again,
Nothing. Like
I
Right,
prefer to have a successful life, bro. So again, that's me.
right,
I would rather have a successful life. You know what I mean? If
But
I
you
was
but you
people,
can't enjoy it really though, because like you
right,
can't do anything spontaneous.
you just gotta lock
well,
back in.
it
Lock
depends. It
back in.
depends.
right,
It based on it based on
right.
what you're talking about too, though, right? So
That,
again,
yeah.
I would prefer to have a successful life, but I want to die with money in my casket, bro.
Yeah, I
He
know.
said, he said he over here sleep.
Sleep
He over here
with the money phone, with the money
sleeping on the money
phone.
phone.
Money still calling
The money's still calling
Yeah.
even when I'm dead, baby.
I don't
That's
want to die
crazy.
knowing I was just happy, having fun.
So when you say like a spontaneous life, right? I'm just free to do whatever I want, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to die like that, buddy. I'm good.
but but
But I mean, there's no guarantee of
there's
success,
no
and
there's
there's
no,
really
You
no
can't have
no
no
structure.
you can't have
guarantee.
no
You
structure.
have no
No
structure.
guarantee. That's what I'm
But hold on, but
saying.
I can be successful though, but
You
for
can.
investment,
Yeah,
It's
there's a
just
yeah,
not
possibility you
guaranteed.
could.
right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I would take that then, because at the end of the day, I would take that because at the end of
You
the day,
can't have
nothing
no
is guaranteed.
structure.
Yeah, but nothing is guaranteed, right? So for that reason, I think I would take the latter. Because I want to be successful, right? But at the end of the day, if I can just have my spontaneous
Well,
life, it's not really guaranteed. I would take that because I can still be successful. That's a possibility that I can still be successful, but it's just not guaranteed. Think about investing, right? When you invest, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna make money, but
mhm.
sometimes you do. We all know sometimes we have made money from investing, right? So for that reason, I would take being spontaneous and have
Nah.
probably a bit successful, but it's not guaranteed because nothing in life is guaranteed. So yeah, I'd rather be able to like do whatever I want when I want. I love structure. We all know that I love routine. But with those two extreme, I'm taking the latter, bro. I'd rather be spontaneous and just live
I, I,
life on my own
I'll be
terms.
waiting for you up the ladder.
Yeah,
You will meet me there.
right. But I
Shout
can
out to
still get
Bree.
rich.
Shout out
Right,
to Bree, man. She dropped a gem. She said because being a parent is a big responsibility. I say the first one because the kids bring the spontaneity, and I'm setting up my legacy for future generations. Hopefully, if they don't misuse it, if they don't misuse the wealth. So, yeah, and that does it change because we don't really have kids, DG? Does that make it different, right? Like if you can't have no structure with kids, it would be nuts.
yeah,
Right,
that's
that
a good.
changes. I think about me, you, and Z
Right,
probably like we could have a different conversation without kids
right,
than somebody with. You
right,
know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Even Mickey, right? Like having that structure for your family
right,
is going to be always a little more important than you know what I'm
right.
saying?
But
Well, then
think about
I guess
right,
the second part of the question, because we just talked about like li life itself is structure. So like,
right,
I feel like a completely spontaneous life with no guarantee of success. I feel like there still have to be
right,
some kind of
right. That's
structure.
what
Like
I'm
there have to
right.
be something,
Because what I was
right?
thinking
Because
about structure in the sense that, like, like how you just so goal oriented, like playing all that. Oh, this is what I want to do by a certain time. Just like waking up, like back in the day, like college days, bro. We were doing good, but we didn't have really structure. I would wake up and like, I got class today. I'm just gonna go.
Barely. It was bare. You know, there's a lot of them classes that barely got.
And I
You
did good. I went to almost all those classes though, and I turned out to be good, right? So for me, for that
I
being
wouldn't say
said,
all those classes. You know what I'm saying? I went to
no,
enough. You know
no,
what I'm
for
saying?
me though, I ain't gonna
You
lie.
know?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I went to all my classes like freshman year. Like I didn't miss any one of them, right? But I didn't have any. Like I didn't have planner. I didn't have nothing, bro. Like all my
Yeah, I
tests
see.
and
Yeah.
everything. I was just show up. I know when my exam was due, right? I didn't have planner or
Mhm.
anything. So technically, I have no structure on that level, and I turned out pretty good. I graduated with 2 degrees, right? So for that reason, I think I would take that have being spontaneous, being able to do whatever I want,
That's not the
with no
same.
guarantee of success.
That's not the same because the class is still structured. Like you got the
yeah,
class is still from this
you know
time
what?
to this
Your
time. The
class is
test is
yep,
on this
a
date. This
schedule.
is due on
Right,
that date. The
correct.
structure is still there.
But
So I feel like without that,
I'm still gonna have a job, correct? If I'm still gonna have a job. I'm still gonna be making money, right? Correct? Or I gotta like, because that's structure
Yeah,
too. Then,
yeah,
so that's technically structure if you want
yeah.
to look at it. Because who's gonna be giving me money for like to live? like,
I don't know.
Yeah, but you work. You work.
so
Me,
it's
I
still
have
gonna be
kids,
so
so
tough.
at the end, I want to be
I was just
successful.
talking about like us being more like because now we got to create structure. Now we have to like set our routine, what we need to do at a specific time. So for me, that's that kind of like structure I was talking about,
Hmm.
right? Because we're so proactive about what we want. So we plan everything now. We're more organized. I know what I'm doing tomorrow morning. I know what I'm doing at 9. I know what I'm doing like all
But
day.
all
That's the
those things
structure I was
have no
talking
guarantee
about.
of success, though. You
Right,
doing all those things, you have no guarantee of success.
correct.
And then on the
Yeah.
other hand, you guarantee you have a guarantee to success. Like it's like you can do all
Right.
those things. There's no guarantee that you're gonna be successful.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll still take the be able to like do what I want, and
If
I'll
I
take
was, if
that.
I was, if I never had no kids, I would be in that boat with you, bro. But
Right,
for now,
right.
Yeah, that's
But
I'm not
Yeah,
going.
tough.
I
I'm
mean,
not. I'm not going.
I feel like the second part of that is like what we're doing now. That's just like
right,
what life is.
right,
Like we do technically live
right,
a somewhat
right.
spontaneous life,
And
like
it's
with
fine.
no guarantee of success, right? I
Correct.
feel like that's kind of like what life is right now. Like
Right,
we don't know whether this is gonna work or not, but we
right.
do
And
it. you know.
No,
Exactly.
Nah,
we
but we was
doing it,
pretty
but if
structured though,
yeah,
bro. Like, nah,
yeah,
we're
yeah, but
not
Yeah,
we
that.
doing
Oh,
it
we don't know,
we do this
right?
every Monday, you know.
right.
So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
we
that's
was
a
But
structured,
pretty.
bro.
but if someone was telling you, if that's a different thing. If someone was telling you, hey, you live this lifestyle, you guarantee a $1 billion,
And
and
not,
you
not
live this
amount on it,
lifestyle,
right?
you guarantee nothing, nigga.
But that's different though, right? I mean, because at the end of the day, like if you think about just structure with everything, right? Every day, you just like everything's structured. You don't have time to do anything. Like all day, it's just like this is every day. You can
But at
just
least at
like
the end
do
of the day,
anything.
I guarantee $1 billion.
But you know, not we didn't put a amount on it though.
No,
It's
I'm
not
just
money.
saying. I'm
It's
just saying.
success though.
Right,
I'm just
It's
saying.
success.
It's success.
Even if it's 10 mil, a mil. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? For
right.
most
But at
people.
the end of the day, at least
yeah,
at least I guarantee something. If I'm not here
yeah,
today,
right.
my kids can inherit that. But
Yeah,
just think about it. If I'm just being
yeah.
a happy dude with no, I ain't guaranteed nothing. I have kids. They're gonna be the damn
Happy as
baby
hell.
right now.
Yeah.
Happy ass nigga, man.
But that but but the reason why for me that's why I'll pick the latter, right?
So
Because
happy
like
as that.
everything I'm doing is not guaranteed, and I'm seeing some results, right? So for that
Mhm.
reason, I'm just gonna live life on my term, be free to do
Because you
whatever I
true.
want, you
Yeah,
know?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I'll pick the
I
option. That's what
I
I'm gonna
do
pick.
think the essence of like life of human beings is freedom.
Yeah.
Like right, like we all want to
Right.
be free. I think at the
Right.
end of the day,
Yeah, I think we want to be rich, but we really want to be free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
So
we
that's
talk
just the
about
way
that
to
like
get there. That's just the way to get
financially
there,
free. Like
really. Like,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
absolutely.
It's not about the actual paper, just random little paper slips. It's really about not having to do anything. You know what I'm saying? So I
Hmm.
do feel you on the freedom part, but I sometimes the way to get freedom is to not be free and like to put that structure on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it ain't not too many people that really just get super successful with no
I
structure.
agree.
That just ain't.
yeah.
There's not a
Facts.
lot of them. There
Mm-mm.
ain't a lot of them.
Mm-mm.
Even the lottery people, you can't say they successful. They hit the lottery
Right.
and probably blew it.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's not
Yeah,
success. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
you
Even
know.
me, even me, I never had. I was reckless, but I have to learn.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I do
yeah.
agree.
I'm going structure. I'm gonna make my answer short, man. I'm
Yeah,
going with the
yeah,
structure
I'm
one.
on the structure.
You going with the
So
structure
I have to
one?
structure. Yeah, I have to structure
I'm going
myself.
spontaneity and with no guarantee of success. Just living life, like just doing things that I want to do. I feel like, yeah, I'll take the latter with no guarantee of success.
So when we say no spontaneity, like you just your life is just forever structured. Just
Yeah,
Yeah, but
everything.
we didn't say what that looks like. We can pick
Yeah,
our structure too.
pick out.
We can
Yeah,
pick a
oh,
structure.
I'm
Like
definitely I'm taking the guarantee, baby.
Then I can pick my
Final answer.
spontaneity too. Then, right? If you're gonna pick, why can I
for
pick
Yeah,
what
sure,
yeah,
I want to
you
do?
yeah.
can
You definitely
anything,
pick your spontaneity.
anything. You
Absolutely.
can do
then,
anything. You can do anything though.
then technically,
We had to just pick
then
our life and just live it. Like we had to just pick it and just live it. You could do whatever you want.
I mean, then technically I'll be guaranteed success there, right? Because I can pick to do things that I
yeah.
can work on,
It's not.
right? And then,
It's not
It just
guaranteed.
I guarantee.
but yeah, it's
define.
a
You could
pot,
define the success if you define it.
right?
You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's
It
what I'm
ain't
saying. Look,
guaranteed you're gonna get it.
but yeah, but I could get it too, though, right?
You
Everything
could.
will do
Like
so.
there's
So
a
Good. You could.
possibility you could.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
oh yeah, because nothing is guaranteed. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm going with that for sure.
But
I'm doing
I
that.
also I
I'm
think it
going with that.
depends to me. I think it depends to me on how like the long-term success. Well, I guess we get to choose it. I was gonna say like if it's one of those situations where like the wealth is just handed to me, like for instance, my for instance, like let's say your parents were super affluent and they structured out your life for you, you
Right,
know, where they were gonna set you up, you were gonna be good forever, but you have to live the life that they want you to live. Then
right.
I don't know if I would want that because it's just like, well,
Yeah,
it
that's a good one.
it
Yeah, that
guarantees my success,
right,
but like at the same time I don't get to live my life for me though. Like
right,
I feel like this is the life that like my parents, you
right.
know, because they're gonna give me 25 m's that's
Right.
gonna set me up forever,
They want
but
you to
like
live the same way.
I have to do this, like
For
I have
is
to
Yeah.
it for
check
a certain?
all the
Okay,
boxes.
that's it. Is
Right.
it for a certain
Yeah, I
time
agree.
period?
That's a good
Yeah,
way,
but
G. I like the way you
is
put it.
it for
Yeah.
a certain time period?
No,
Like,
that's your life.
No,
That
are you
that's your
that's
life.
using
forever.
No, that's your life.
Forever.
Like they
Forever.
structure your
That
life.
boy
You
trying to get some
like
spontaneous shit in like 20 years.
nah,
He
nah,
trying to do
bro.
something strange in like 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You go to bed. You go to bed at 8 p.m. every night. You go to bed at 8 p.m. every night. You're waking up at fucking 5 a.m. every night.
Yeah,
That's the structure.
Lock
8
yeah.
p.m.
in.
8 p.m. every night. Wake up at 5 a.m.
But
5
if
a.m.
I'm doing it for the rest of
Yeah,
my life,
I
then what's
think
the point?
that makes it more
Yeah,
difficult.
come
You
yeah.
can't choose the
you you
structure.
you you making
You
it too
have to,
extreme.
You
right,
can't.
You making it
You
extreme.
can't. But that's the point, though. We got to
right,
make it extreme
All right,
so
let's
we
right.
make
know.
if we doing that, then y'all can't choose the spontaneous.
No.
It's just wild. It's just a wild day happening. You don't know what the fuck's going on.
I mean I mean that's different though, right?
I don't know what the fuck's going on, man.
Come on, man. You want me to go to
No,
bed at
Oh
yeah,
5 a.m.?
man,
that's structure, right? That's structure. What go to bed at 8
So
p.m.
how old
Wake
I
up at
come?
5.
So how old will I be to get that
I don't,
25 million?
it don't matter. You're gonna get it at 50. It don't, all right, you can get it today, but that's how you're gonna live the rest of your life. Go to bed at 8 p.m. Wake up at 5.
Oh yeah, with I want it within that time frame.
Yeah,
I would do a lot of damage, bro.
no, you can do anything. There's structure. You just gotta like work and wake up and do certain
I
things.
what I'm not allowed to have my girl.
No spontaneous. You can't be spontaneous. That's spontaneous, dog.
that was spontaneous. Yeah.
That's spontaneous, right?
No,
You can't
nah,
do
you tripping.
Nah, yeah,
Basically, you
yeah.
putting me in prison, bro.
We make love at 7 p.m. every night.
that.
And we use
Uh,
condoms. And
yeah,
you use condoms every time.
yeah.
Oh
7 p.m.
man.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you gotta be like, yeah, you gotta be like, what about 8 p.m. Wake up at 5 every day?
Nah, that too extreme, bro.
That's
But
the
Yeah.
structure. Yeah,
that's
it
the
can't be.
that's the structure. That's like
Yeah, go to bed.
I'm
Yeah,
good on that then. I'm good.
forever. Go to bed at 8 p.m. Like you can't do anything. You can't watch the game.
Nah, I'm
Nothing. You just
good. I'm good.
You trying to hold
nothing
up? You trying to
spontaneous.
change? What if that's all right? What if that is
all right, cool.
our
Oh, that's
structure
fine.
though?
It's okay.
Yeah,
You get to pick.
I'll go the other way then.
Y'all
but
trying
then
to pick our structure for
because
us?
if you have to pick, your structure is easier there, right?
Come
Because you
on,
can just pick what you enjoy.
you telling me
You
to go to
know,
bed
then that's
at
not
five.
structure. It's fun, right?
You can't your parents structured out your entire life for
Right,
you. You don't get to choose nothing.
Oh no,
right,
It's
hell
all
no.
structured. You
See,
can't be
basically
spontaneous.
putting you're basically trying to put in prison.
right. It's like me saying, give me structure. Or like my structure, I'm gonna wake up and play video game at 9 a.m. to 4. I'm gonna enjoy that. That's not a problem. I can do that all
Come on
day.
now.
I'm gonna work out for
Damn.
2 hours. I would do that all day. That's not hard for me.
That would
That's
suck
easy, right?
after a while though, bro.
Yeah.
That would
Just
No,
still
but
just
suck.
I would
imagine they
enjoy.
gotta tell you
Every
But
day.
you
still,
gotta home at 8.
but I would enjoy that though. I would enjoy that for the. I'm not gonna feel like burden, bro. If I can just work out every day, I would do that every day, 2 hours. Like, cool. Like bring me PS5, bring me different games. I can enjoy it all day. I would do that for years, and then I'm rich.
Bro, I think I'm gonna choose the latter and I'm gonna just be a Buddhist monk, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just be a monk and chilling, bro. That's
Like
it,
a
bro. I'm gonna
spontaneous
just be chilling.
monk? Is that what you saying?
yeah,
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
Structure,
I guess,
a
yeah,
structure one.
I guess like a spontaneous monk, like
yeah,
I
I'm
guess.
a Z, bro. Yeah, we chilling, bro. Yeah, no guarantee of success. I'm
No, but
chilling. I'm
you
living.
know, no, but you trying to say I gotta go to bed. That's the one that pissing me off.
Bro, you
I got
because your life is structured, fam. Your life is structured. You can't be spontaneous outside of the structure, man.
why do I have to go to bed at
Make
5
you don't want to go to
a.m.?
bed. Make you don't want to go to bed at 8 p.m., bro. You want to
Come
stay up
on.
late.
Just imagine you gotta be home at 8 p.m.
Uh,
You are 40 years old man.
that boy said Jew call's not even open yet. What's the spot cost? What's the club? It ain't even open yet.
Nah, it gotta
No,
be hard, bro. Cause
but
y'all gonna guarantee
no,
success, bro.
but
Y'all gonna be rich.
Yeah,
it's just the downside of it. Though. Just imagine you a grown ass man with your friends, and you gotta tell them, bro, it's 8 o'clock. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah,
Yeah, man,
but
I'm about to go.
you can't just be out there enjoying life because it's chosen for
yeah.
you. It's
Chosen for you,
chosen
bro.
for you.
Yeah,
All right, we'll give you like you gotta be in bed by 8 p.m. on the weekdays. On the weekends, you get 9 p.m.
I don't want it, bro.
That boy gotta go.
You get a
That
whole
boy
nother
gave us
hour, baby.
1 extra hour free. You know what I'm gonna be doing from 8 to 9, and on the weekends, bro, I'm about to be probably not shit. To
uh,
be honest, if it's structured, I'm probably not still doing shit. Like you know,
It's okay. I'll take the chance, bro. I'll
I'm
take the
reading the
chance.
comments. Someone say if it makes sense, I'll do it and sneak out and do what I want to do. You
Nah,
can't
that's
do that.
spontaneous. That's
You
spontaneity. You can't be spontaneous. There's
can't
no
sneak out.
spontaneity.
Yeah,
y'all
Your
can't
life is
have no
everything
structured.
structure. Y'all
everything has
focus
to
on
be
this side. Y'all can
planned.
have no structure,
Yeah,
bro. None.
yeah,
No
we
plan. You
chilling.
just
Yeah,
wake up and just leave the house and just
and do whatever I want.
I don't know
I
what
feel like I
I
feel like
don't know
yeah,
what. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like most people just wake up with no plan anyway. Just wake up and just do whatever they want. Most people do that nowadays. just wake up, no plan.
But
Just like, all right,
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
do this
the
today.
structure when we talk about purpose, the structure one is
Yeah,
purpose. I know what I'm
Right,
doing this for. It
yeah,
right,
sucks
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
right.
I gotta love what I do. I gotta love who I do it with.
I,
But I know what I'm doing for. I'm building something. The other
Right.
one is just like shit. I'm just out here, bro.
So
You
a
know,
lot of
and
I'm
Z
people
working.
have
Yeah,
talks about it all the time. Like people just be like
yeah.
just floaties
I was,
outside,
I
just
was,
like I'm just outside. Like I don't know.
right.
I
yeah,
was gonna
but a lot
say
of people don't have structure.
even in this extreme situation, I still think I'm taking a guaranteed success
Right.
because it guarantees my purpose. Like it guarantees my like at the end of the day, I have a sense of direction,
Yeah,
and
you just
I may not live the
rich
most
though.
enjoyable life,
Yeah, you just
but I told y'all what the bigger purpose is for me is philanthropy. Being able to
right,
give,
right.
and that guarantees that.
The
Yeah,
moment you think about 9 o'clock going to sleep, I'm
yeah.
out.
You,
I'll be pissed, bro. I'll be pissed. I'll be in bed at 9 p.m. just staring at the ceiling, man as fuck. Just like, bro, like what
for
the
the rest
fuck?
of your life, bro. Nothing. Like we can hit you up. Hey, we got.
Especially out here in New York, bro. You hearing everything that's going on, bro. I'm
Yeah,
living in a mansion. I'm living in a penthouse, hearing everything that's going on outside in New York, bro. I'm mad as fuck.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
mad
nah, I'm not
as
doing
fuck.
it. Nah, I'm not doing it.
It's
I'm
not
good.
easy. It's not.
It's
Yeah,
not.
no,
It's not
no,
easy.
but no, Ray, why they have to put time limit? Go to
Nah,
bed
if
at
you,
night.
I see it that they fucking with us on that. They ain't got it. They trying to pick ours. Y'all trying to pick our structure for us. That's like me. That's like me picking y'all spontaneity and shit. Like, yo, a zebra gonna run through your house today. Like, you know what I'm
No, but that's
saying?
that's
Y'all don't know
All right,
what the fuck's
all right,
going
all
on.
right, all right,
Hey, the
all right,
shit
all
gonna
right.
flood
but
today.
no,
Yo,
All right,
shit, you don't know
that's
what the
that's
fuck
all
going
right, all
on.
right,
that's
all right, all
that's
right. So
more.
to that point though, all right, let's make it even. We don't get to choose our structure, but also like it's in somebody else's hands. And the spontaneity is, I mean, I guess you can choose your spontaneity.
Yeah, because then you have to choose it. Because then the yeah, yeah, you have to choose it, bro. It can be. It got to be. You got to choose it in order for it to be spontaneous, right? Because someone else is planning after you.
But
That's
yeah,
not
let's
being
just say in
spontaneous.
this hypothetical situation, somebody else chooses your structure, but you don't know what it is. They just choose it for you.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want none of that.
It's
Y'all
guaranteed
put
success
y'all
though.
putting extra rules on this side. What's y'all rule? What's y'all rule, bruh? Ain't no rules over there. Like,
No,
just imagine someone call me 3 o'clock in the morning. You gotta wake up. Then the
oh
next
y'all.
day they wake up 2 a.m. in the morning. You gotta get up. Nah, I'm good.
right.
Let
Well,
me control my sleep.
y'all forgot. We said no structure. Maybe that means you don't get to live in the same spot every night. How about that? How about you just got to figure out
But that's
you don't know where it
different.
is. It's just
I feel like
spontaneous. There
no.
ain't no
I feel like in the
structure. You ain't
sense that you
going home to what? There ain't no
no
structure. You ain't paying bills.
no, but being spontaneous in the sense that
What you mean?
that
That's true. That's
That's
true.
true.
There's no guarantee you got a
How
home.
you gonna
There's no guarantee you got a home to go
how you
sleep
gonna
in.
pay it? Ain't no
I
nah.
mean that's
Y'all putting
homeless
shit
though.
on us. How the
I
fuck
That
you?
know.
that that
Come on.
that's not being spontaneous. That being homeless.
But
That's different.
You
I
got
mean, you could be,
you,
you could
you
be,
figured
you could
you got
be,
another chance to figure it out tomorrow. You know
you could be spontaneously homeless.
that's
No,
for sure.
You
then for
could be
that
spontaneously homeless,
no for
man.
that
Like,
I ain't no
then I
fun.
wouldn't. Then I feel like
Ain't
that
no
would be easy.
structure. You
Then
saying like
that be.
no
I mean,
spontaneous? Ain't no
I mean
structure. You not
that would
pay,
be easy.
and
That
you
I'll
ain't on
pick the
no fixed
success.
mortgage
Yeah.
rate, bro. We not.
I mean,
What are we talking
I mean
about,
that's
bro?
easy though, right? That's so easy. I'll pick success. Obviously, that's easy,
oh,
right? Because I'm gonna be homeless. I don't want to be homeless, so that's easy. I'm gonna pick the other one. So it has to be hard, because at
Nah, Nick.
the end of the day,
Don't
it's
don't
just
tell me
like
when to go to bed, bro.
because
You can
it's
you
gonna
can
be
tell me.
easier. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be easier. It's gotta
Yeah,
be a little
come on
bit
now.
harder.
You can tell. Just imagine Ray and Z in Denver. Yo, Mickey, we in the city tonight. I gotta look at my son and be like, God damn it.
God
Yeah,
damn it, bro. It's
yeah.
7:45. I should probably get to start wrapping this thing up. You know?
Yeah, you can be spontaneous and someone saying
bro,
spontaneously homeless is crazy,
you could
but
be spontaneously homeless, bro. I don't think anybody plans to be homeless, fam. Like nobody's structured their life to be homeless, fam.
right.
No,
No, I
Hey,
but
mean
that's
but
for
spontaneous as
that
Z,
shit.
for
no,
that'll
but
be easy though. I'll pick the structure. That's
I
obviously
I
easier
don't want to
for me.
sound crazy.
I want it to be a little bit
I don't
harder for me, right? Because
want to
with that
sound
two
crazy,
option, I'm gonna
but
pick the structure
I
for
think
sure. That's easy.
I might sound dumb. I don't want to say that, but I think some people choose to be homeless though. That's a different conversation, but I
Right,
believe that.
right.
That's a different
And we'll
conversation
have to
for
come
another
back to
day.
Yeah,
that. I
Yeah,
agree,
yeah. I see what
yeah,
you're saying.
but
yeah. I
we'll come
think some people.
back to that because I
Yeah,
agree.
But
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying is like I don't think they like structured it like from the moment they were young. They were like, "I'm gonna grow up and be homeless." So I don't think they structured their life to
I
be like that. Though is what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Nah.
Yeah,
Dude,
Right.
we can have that
yeah,
conversation
yeah.
another
We'll
time.
have that conversation. All right. So that all being said, what's y'all's final answer? Which one y'all
Structure.
taking?
Man,
Because if you said if
I'm
you
going the other side, buddy.
right,
See you, Ray.
Hey, all I'm saying is this: if I'm going to sleep at 9, then
right.
you ain't going to the same crib every night. That's what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
That's
right,
what it
right. Because I feel like if you right, if you make it the other way, then it's a lot easier. Then I'm gonna pick structure, right? Because I think
Yeah, I'm taking the
it's just better.
structure.
Yeah.
But if you make it the other way, then it's easier, right? Because if you like the way I had it before, I'm gonna take spontaneity, right? But now if you see you're not gonna have a place to stay, then I ended up just being homeless. So
No.
why would I want to take that?
Why should I go to bed at 9 o'clock and you
You
take
know?
a
So
good
yeah,
you
I
can
don't
do
mind
anything
going
you
to bed
want?
at 9 o'clock forever.
No.
But that I feel like that's just a lot easier. It's just the option is a lot easier.
there could be some fly
I
homeless
mean,
people out here
Right,
to
that
the
be
point.
going around friends' cribs and just
yeah,
it's just like you just not
right,
it's not the same spot.
right.
You might be like Ramon, can I stay?
Nah,
If you in here by 8,
you're not
then
gonna make
you
him
can
Yeah, but
stay
that
tonight.
a crib.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
can
yeah,
he
but
can sleep
that
even a Walmart.
I
right, but
mean,
yeah, that
think
yeah,
about it,
that
right? Like
yeah, it's
we
easy,
talked
right,
about decision. We talked about decision
right,
fatigue, right?
right,
So if you had no structure in your life, you didn't go to school, you never had a job, you don't know what structure is.
right,
That's a chaotic life, bro.
right.
Like I'm taking
Everything
structure,
is
bro.
chaotic.
I'm taking structure. I'm taking. Give me this
Every
motherfucking
time
No,
structure.
yeah,
somebody
I
asks you
don't care if
something,
I go to
you
bed at 9 every
Right.
night.
yeah,
Give me the motherfucking
yeah.
structure, bro.
No, I agree. With that, that's easier for me. That's an easy decision because I'll pick that in a heartbeat. So it's not even like a challenge for me. I don't mind going to bed at 6 p.m. every night. I'll do that for the rest of my life.
And
Than to be
nah,
homeless
I'm
the rest
And
of
good.
my
and
life.
okay. Shout out to
Right,
Rob T. He said, but without structure, you can end up in the right place at the right time and be on top. But that'd be like hitting the lottery, bro. I
right.
feel like you're essentially trying to play the lottery at that point,
Right.
and that's crazy, bro. Like just nah, man. Like nah. I'm nah, bro. Give me the structure, bro.
Yeah,
Give me the motherfucking
Right.
structure. Give me
that's
the
true.
structure, bro.
Yeah, I feel
Give
like
it to
that
me.
we made it too easy. That's why I wanted it to be harder. Because with that answer, everyone's gonna pick structure, right? It's too easy. Like
But it's not
it's not
easy though. Like
comparable.
you don't get
It
to
is.
choose your life
You're not
though.
gonna
Like
choose your
somebody
Yeah,
life.
else
It's
could.
not easy, it's
You
hard.
don't know what the structure
I mean, it's
is.
easy because we all four of us picked it though, right? So it's easier because we know there's
But
better
no, if you
options.
change no, when you change it around though, if
Because
you
the
change it
ladder,
around, then
right,
you started with time. You see,
right,
yeah,
I'm a grown ass man,
right,
and you telling me
right.
I gotta go to bed at 9 o'clock?
yeah.
Nah, I'm not doing it.
If
No,
you
it
tell
has
me
to be
time, I'm gonna tell you the place,
right.
my brother.
It has to be hard because I feel like with this way it's too easier. Everyone's gonna pick structure. Most people are gonna pick structure. It's too easy. You got to be a little bit extreme, right? Because it's too easy. Because we all pick structure. Obviously, like I was on the other side. Now I'm like, now you got dragged into structure. You know?
You
But I
need
mean,
it.
you could be fly homeless. You could be fly homeless, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just play with crypto here and there,
But
stay in this
then
hotel,
There
stay at.
is the
You could just
possibility.
Yeah.
There's
like
a
it just ain't
possibility you could be
structure.
successful.
You could still
that's
be
not being
player. It's not like a homeless
that's
like what
not
you think it is.
spontaneous
Maybe
though,
it might
right?
just be player. Like
Right,
you just be out in the club. Hey, you
right,
see a chick, maybe you stay over there tonight. Like, it
right.
just ain't structured.
Yeah, but
It
that's
just
not
ain't no
being
structure. You can't
spontaneous,
go.
right?
It ain't going home.
Because this is
It
what
don't, it
I
don't
perceive
matter
it
how
to
much
be,
money you
right?
have, man.
Like
That life
spontaneous in the
is
sense that you have your own place,
yeah,
like you wake up in the morning, like not having a plan and just do whatever that comes to mind.
yeah.
That's
That
my
life is
idea.
hard.
That's spontaneity, right? You have your own place, wake up tomorrow. Like I don't have my day plan. Like for example, tomorrow I'm not planning my day. I'm just gonna wake up tomorrow morning in my house and figure out what I'm gonna do. That being spontaneous, right? But now if I'm not in my house, if I'm homeless, that's not like how is
Yeah.
that being
No matter
spontaneous
how
and I
much
don't have a
money you
place to
have,
stay, you know?
that sucks.
Yeah.
Just imagine you
Right.
So that
gotta call someone with all your money and be like, "Hey, man, I wanna crash in your chair tonight."
yeah,
All right,
so
we change it. You on a month to month. You on a month to month. How
month
about
to month
that?
what?
You can only stay in the spot for a month, and then you got to figure something else out.
I mean
You got
that's
a
not
month though.
no, I
That
feel like I was talking about
change it.
spontaneity in your routine. That's what mostly I was talking about, right? Waking up, not having plan. Like for example, going to bed tomorrow, I'm not planning anything. Like I don't have any goals for tomorrow. I'm just gonna wake up in the morning and decide what I'm gonna do tomorrow. And like every day
You can't
next day,
do that
wake up, decide what I'm gonna do.
and still pay your bills. Is what my point though. That's my point. Is like
Then who's
if
gonna pay the
nothing is
bills?
structured, then nobody. That's why you ain't got a spot.
Nah, then that's not spontaneity then, right? That's just like that's just being homeless.
Because you never learned structure. Like you
You
didn't go
never.
to school. You didn't. You never had a job. I mean, I guess you
Right.
tried to have a job, but you didn't know how to.
But at
But
least the
see,
players, you need a player. That's what I'm saying. My thing is, in order to make this deal work, because it's too easy, because everyone's gonna pick that option. No one's gonna pick being homeless in the car.
Nah,
No one's gonna pick that,
nobody want to go to bed 9
right?
o'clock, bro. No grown man want to be going to bed at 9 o'clock, bro.
At first, I wasn't going to do that, but now I picked that option
Nah, I don't want it.
because it's too easy.
9 o'clock,
It's
Matter
too
bro.
easy.
Not just
matter of fact, it's
imagine.
8:03 now, man. I gotta wrap this
All
thing up. It's about,
right,
I got I gotta lay this. I gotta lay it down in a little bit.
Just imagine you on a date and
oh my
you
God.
40 years old and you gonna tell your date I gotta go to sleep.
yeah, I was
That's
sitting at the
crazy.
phone, had a
We
bar, but
doing,
yeah,
Nah,
man,
bro.
just
you know what I'm saying? We
all
doing
right.
brunch dates and all kind
Yeah,
of.
nah, nah, it's too easy. If y'all made it too easy, I'll pick the structure. But yeah, let's wrap it up, man. Just want to say
Yeah.
a big shout out to everyone who joined us today. Really appreciate you
Facts,
guys.
Next
man. Big
Monday,
shout out to Mickey, man. You
next
know,
Yeah,
Monday.
Mickey always shakes some shit up, man. Mickey always come
Mickey
in and
always
shake it
shakes
up.
some shit up, man.
shout
Always.
out to
No,
Mickey
but
joining
the
us.
thing is, Damo know we disagree and agree. So when he come on talking about, that Christians bullshit, I don't want to hear it. Because I know we've been brainwashed